WAC football takes center stage at Utah State. The Warriors' high-powered offense. Upset-minded Aggies. Kickoff next in Logan. A chilly day in the mountains in northern Utah. We're ready for WAC football. Hawaii's first trip to Logan since 1965 on a 5-game win streak. Utah State coming off a bye week. Hawaii led by Colt Brennan. He has a hot hand, the nation's top-rated passer. Hawaii thinking about a bowl bid. It's in sight. It's the Warriors and the Aggies. Kickoff is coming up next from Logan, Utah.
Sunday.
The mountains in Logan, Utah. Beautiful sight here as Hawaii and Utah State are ready for football. Good evening, everybody. I'm Trey Bender alongside John Gregory, and we're excited about this matchup. November is here. Bowl season is fast approaching, and for Hawaii, a chance to punch their ticket to the postseason with Sheraton Hawaii Bowl officials hanging out here. Utah State, chance to play giant killer.
Yeah, they certainly do. This Hawaii team's playing with an awful lot of confidence right now, both offensively and defensively. Their job, just keep winning, and maybe they have that chance for the bowl game. For Utah State, this is a team that struggled early in the year. They've tried to find their way right now, and a big win today against Hawaii, a team that's getting top 25 votes, will send them on their way.
Colt Brennan may be the best passer in college football. His numbers are staggering.
They certainly are, and June Jones thinks this guy may be one of the best quarterbacks in college football, and potentially could be a great quarterback in the NFL. He's got great accuracy. He's got the ability to hit guys on the run. And once these receivers catch the football, that's what their key is. They can certainly run the ball after he gets it in their hands.
And they are dangerous in so many ways on offense. On the Utah State side, meanwhile, Riley Nelson has injected some life into this Aggies offense. Quick learner as a freshman.
Yeah, just a freshman. This team was averaging only 5 points a game through the first 4 games of the season. Now they're averaging over 20 points a game with him in there in the lineup. He's a local guy who's brought an awful lot of excitement to this team. So the fans are looking forward to him playing here.
Warriors are #1 in the nation in offense, but Jerry Glanville's defense has made big plays lately. Hawaii, Utah State, kick it off next in Logan.
Hawaii.
Back in Logan, Utah, Romney Stadium, the site as Hawaii and Utah State are ready for this Western Athletic Conference battle. Wouldn't call it balmy conditions here, not anything like the Hawaiian Islands, as temperatures could be a lot worse as you look at the current conditions in Oahu and here in northern Utah. Quite a difference, and of course the high altitude, something that Utah State tries to use to their advantage as well. Brent Guy in his second season, 4-15, but he's been a part of 9 bowl teams as a coach or player throughout his career, and his defensive coordinator job through the year has been tremendous at several big-name schools, including Arizona State, Boise State, and Oklahoma State. And he's trying to make them better than before. That's been the motto. Hawaii coming out of the tunnel. The cold conditions say it's something that doesn't bother them. They're ready to go.
Well, that may be a lot of coach talk too. You know, these guys come out here. They got at least they got a good day. I think this Utah State team was looking for a lot of snow with like temperatures down in the low 30s and some wind and a little bit of sleet. But Hawaii didn't get that today, and that's be good as we get to see a good, fun passing offense, and it'll be nice to entertaining ball game.
This is a hot football team. 5 consecutive wins. Started off with a 1-2 record. Turnovers were a problem for them. But they've righted that, and they are working on all cylinders right now. Hawaii has won the toss, and they'll get the football first to start things here at Romney Stadium. As you look at the Hawaii sideline, and June Jones, what a career he's had. 4 bowl games, 11 NFL draft picks, 51 all-WAC guys in his tenure.
He's got a lot of talented players, and there's numerous guys, as we'll talk throughout this ball game, that NFL scouts are looking at right now and drooling at, and I think they're going to get a few more players in the NFL after this year.
I think maybe the most impressive stat, top 5 nationally in passing 7 straight years. Not many people will do better than that.
No, and that's what the run and shoot will do for you. The big question is defenses, but when you look at this Hawaii team now. I think that's the big difference in this Hawaii team is the way this defense is playing. And Jerry Glanville certainly has this Hawaii team fired up and playing a lot more aggressive on defense.
Well, we're going to get a close-up look at Cole Brennan. How about June Jones' comment? The best he's ever coached. That's impressive.
Yeah, and he's coached some pretty big players. He mentioned the name Jim Kelly, and not only just a college quarterback, he thinks this guy's going to go to the NFL and play really well at the NFL level.
So Utah State will kick it away, and June Jones Warriors trying to get it done on the road. After this one, they're back home the rest of the way and hope to be playing in the Sheraton Hawaii Bowl. Again, officials standing by. They'd like to secure that invitation with a win today. Ross Dickerson, top kick return man in the WAC, back as one of the deep men for Hawaii, and let's see if Brian Shields and the Aggies will kick it away from him. We are underway from Logan, Utah. It is kicked away, a short kick, and fielded across the 20-yard line and up to the 28. For Hawaii goes Blaze Soares, and that's where the Warriors will start first and 10. So Darrell Fields on the tackle there. Here's Brennan, and he's accurate. He's tough according to June Jones, and he thinks he's NFL bound.
Yeah, and he's got a lot of talent. Just watching him warm up before the ball game, you could see the arm strength that he has. And we mentioned at the top, he's got great accuracy, and I think June Jones thinks that's his best ability is being able to hit receivers on the run.
And you get a close-up look here at the run and shoot. They go single back, 4 receivers. The 2 slot guys have been very effective over the middle for Hawaii, and they have the deep threats as well. Brennan on first down from the 29. In the flat, catch is made. It's Ryan Grice-Mullen, and he's across the 45 for a first down, and he breaks another tackle into Aggies territory and out of bounds at the 44. Paul Igboli on the tackle. Big play on first down. Let's take a look at this Warriors team that they're so good offensively, and they also love Nate Ilawa, the 254-pound senior. Great feet. It gives him a running presence.
Yeah, he's got great size and the ability, to mix something up in between the pass and the run.
And the center and tackles, June Jones believes, are NFL bound. Satele, the leader, the senior in the middle.
3 guys on that offensive line as well mentioned being drafted.
First down after the big catch by Grice-Mullen. Ball at the Aggies' 43-yard line. Opening series. Little shovel pass and incomplete. Intended for Ilawa. They like to do a lot of that with the running back.
Yeah, we'll see him mix in a lot of different things on this offense, and that's what makes him so good.
Here's a look at the Utah State front wall. They've battled injuries throughout the year. Bevan Howard, sophomore from Scottsdale, the brother of Lauren Howard, who's at Arizona State. Cumby's the guy that makes the most plays in the middle, but Igboli playing very well as a freshman. And in the secondary, Terrence Washington, the leader back there. He's their most experienced defensive back here in Logan.
Yeah, Coach Brent Guy said he's the old guy back there. He's the one that sets everybody up and tells them where to go.
2nd and 10 after the incompletion. Brennan and company at the 43. Near side and incomplete. It was caught momentarily, it appeared. Sample had it and then stripped free by Marquise Charles, the 2-year starter at corner.
You'll see this Utah State defense give Hawaii a bunch of different looks. They've had teams sit back against them and play zone defense. They've had teams come against this Hawaii offense and try to attack the quarterback. Utah State's going to try to give it a good mix on both sides, just to try to give the quarterback different looks.
Look at the numbers on 3rd down. Leaders in the WAC, and they'll have to convert a 3rd and 10 to improve those numbers from the Utah State 43. 4 receivers, the single back, Ilawa. Brennan has the snap. Plenty of time. Now he steps up, evades a tackle, over the middle, catch is made. It's Dickerson, and he has a first down inside the Utah State 30. The team leader in all-purpose yards, the senior moves the sticks. Keyjon Murphy on the tackle.
And that's Brennan's ability once he gets back there in the pocket. This offensive line, we'll talk more and more about how good they are, but he has the ability, as you see him back here, he wanted to go to his left originally. He has a read that comes back to the backside. One guy that he can always come back to in case people are covered on the front. He finds that guy and he gets help from his receiver. Dickerson comes back to the ball and helps him out.
Look at the numbers for Dickerson in that slot position. We talked about his kick return prowess, but he is a big play guy and has 3 touchdowns in his last 2 games. First down after that 14-yard pickup at the Utah State 29. Brennan over the middle, wide open, and the catch made by Grice-Mullen, and he takes it in. Grice-Mullen, the sophomore from Rialto, California, and Hawaii makes it look easy as they take it 29 yards for the touchdown.
Well, those inside receivers, Grice-Mullens in here, if you just get the ball in their hands, these are guys that are high school tailbacks, guys that you just get the ability to run 1,500 yards in high school, and if you get the ball in their hands, as you saw in the first play from Grice-Mullens, he can break tackles or he's got the speed to get it in the end zone.
His 5th touchdown receiving this year. Dan Kelly, the sophomore from Temecula, California for the PAT. It hits the upright, but still goes through. So Hawaii wastes little time. They score on their initial drive, and another touchdown pass for Brennan. Grice-Mullens takes it to the house. The Warriors looking good on the road in front of the Aggies. And wasting little time finding the end zone for Hawaii.
As we mentioned, just get the ball in these guys' hands. Former tailbacks, once you get it there, they can certainly run. And the thing about this Hawaii team is you'll see guy coming in, Devon Best, coming into the picture. They were trying to look to make a block down the field, and that's what Utah State coaches were saying, that this Hawaii receivers can get down the field and block. Nice decision there not to go after him. He was in the end zone, but Devon Best getting himself in position to try to help his fellow receiver make a block.
Grice-Mullens sat out 4 games with an ankle injury, looking very good. Kelly to kick it away now with a 7-0 lead. And the kick will not be returned, as taking a knee for Utah State is Kevin Robinson, the dangerous return man. So let's see what the Aggies can do offensively. They've been a little bit better after a horrendous start where they scored just 7 points in their first 4 games. And Riley Nelson, the story. Quick learner, he's accurate, good with his feet. He led him to a victory over Fresno State, and the numbers look pretty good.
They do, and certainly for a freshman, a guy just stepped into the, he's a local guy here, so there was a lot of expectations on him. They really didn't think that maybe he'd play this year. They knew he was a talented quarterback, but he's proven it through the first 4 games that he's played.
Now, the bad news is he plans to head on a 2-year LDS mission after the season, at the end of the school year. But they've loved what they've seen from the freshman here from Logan, Utah. Handoff to Cross straight ahead, and Marcus Cross gets maybe a yard, and that's it. The junior from Houston needs to be a factor offensively for this team. Adam Leonard, the linebacker, on the tackle.
Yeah, this Utah State offense wants to try to control the clock a little bit, and they're going to have to do that on the ground. They're going to have to mix up both the run and pass in this situation, try to keep this Hawaii team off the field.
Robert Cameron, leader.
Incidental face mask, number 41, defense. 5-yard penalty, first down.
Solomon Elamimian, the sophomore from Los Angeles, grabbed the cage, and that will make it first down and 4 across the 26. So Nelson and company will go to work. They will go 2 backs, 2 receivers as Xavier Bowman, the freshman from Houston, goes in motion. Handoff, Cross, straight ahead, drives forward, and he'll be close to a first down, just shy of the 30-yard line for the Aggies. It's an Aggies team that averages only 11 points. Cross, the juniors, had a couple 100-yard games this year. Robinson, though, is the big play guy, and he's coming off a big game against Louisiana Tech.
He is, and he's dangerous as a kick returner. He's also dangerous as that wide receiver. He's the big guy and kind of the go-to guy.
I'm glad to have Jorgensen back in the lineup, the junior. 332-pounder at that right guard position. Second down and a yard for the Aggies from their 29. From the gun, Nelson has it. Southpaw looks, fires, and the catch made for a first down. It's Robinson. Breaks a tackle. Robinson to midfield, and he's down to the Hawaii 47-yard line. That's some of what he can do in the open field. Adam Leonard on the tackle, pick up a 24.
Robinson's 9th in the WAC in all-purpose yards. You can see that because of the kickoff abilities he has. But if you get it in here, he takes a big hit after the throw here. 141 yards in catches last week against Louisiana Tech, or 2 weeks ago. But he's got that ability once he catches the football to get it in the end zone. A lot like this Hawaii offense.
He will draw a lot of double coverage, and that frees up some of the other guys. But Robinson appears to be playing his best football at this juncture of the season. First down, Utah State at the Warriors 47. Nelson, handoff, Cross, trying to go up right tackle, hit a couple times. It barely got it back across the line of scrimmage, and the defensive wall impressive. Purcell and Lafayette were there. There's a look at the 3 starters. They'll rotate 3 sets on that defensive line. Lafayette, a 302-pound junior at nose tackle. Leonard makes a lot of plays in the middle with Elamimian. And their secondary may be their big concern at the corners. They've rotated a couple guys there, A.J. Martinez, Myron Newberry, and Lewis as well. But the safeties have been solid all year. Second down and 9 at the Hawaii 46. Nelson has time in the flat. Catch made by the tight end. It's Rob Myers, and he's ducked out of bounds inside drive, a Utah State first down. Accurate throw by Nelson, and he looks very composed in his first year.
Yeah, and he has a great catch by Rob Myers out there. Only 6 catches on the year. But, you know, when you get a young quarterback in here and you're a receiver, whether it's a tight end or a wide receiver, and you know that that quarterback is going to find you or find a way to get the ball in your hand, you become a better receiver. But Riley Nelson, accurate, 60% completion percentage this year, and you can see that on that throw.
His first start was against Fresno State. Their only victory, 13-12, led him on that game-winning drive. That had to give him a lot of confidence early in his career. Here's a draw now, quarterback draw by Nelson, who's hit and dives forward. The ball comes free. Was he down? The ball came free at the 31-yard line, and Hawaii has the football. The Warriors create the turnover. Nalila Purcell knocked it free, and they have it as Brad Kalili Moku, the junior, recovers.
Brent Guy said that Riley Nelson, the biggest surprise to him was his ability to run the football. To me, he looked like he was down here. He was trying to just putting the ball out and extend it, trying to get some extra yardage. But when we look at it here, let's see if his knee's down. Looks like his butt and knee and elbow and everything's down at the same time. So tough break for Utah. Actually looks like they gave him the ball back.
No, they did not. They originally said it's Hawaii football, but now Utah State has it. So it is now 2nd down and 9 at the 32-yard line for Nelson. Play action. Nelson rolling, throwing, and incomplete. Intended for his tight end, that time Jimmy Bohm, who also doubles as their fullback. So 3rd and 9 coming up.
Riley Nelson had a defender in his face that time, and you'll see Utah State probably go back to that play because Kevin Robinson ran a corner pattern over the top of that, and if Riley Nelson would have had time, he would have been able to throw that ball up the field to his receiver because he was wide open. So don't be surprised if you see Utah State come back to that same play pretty early in this game.
This Aggies team put 35 on the board in a 48-35 loss at Louisiana Tech 2 weeks ago. Their best offensive performance, though they didn't like the overall effort, and they've really struggled, as you see, on 3rd downs. On 3rd and 9, setting up the screen, caught by Cross, breaks a tackle to the 30, and then he's hammered at the 29-yard line. And that was Jacob Patek, the strong safety, that laid one on him. And it's 4th down, and this is where they probably will go for it.
Yeah, we'll talk more and more about their kicking game and where they've been, but we talked to their coaches yesterday. In this situation here, they said they're trying to drive the ball down the field, and if they can get into field goal range, they've only attempted 2 on the year. They're the only team in college football without a field goal. So here's an attempt right here.
Surprise, surprise. Again, they have not made a field goal. They're 0 for 2, and Shields has missed one of those from 26 yards 2 weeks ago at Louisiana Tech. This would be a 46-yarder from the left hash. Snap good. Plenty of leg, and the kick is good. And Utah State has their first made field goal this season, and that's got to give the freshman from Bonita, California, some confidence. The Aggies get a field goal finally, and they're on the board. 7-3, Hawaii here in Logan. The Aggies' first field goal of the season gets them on the board. Warriors in front, 7-3.
Taking a look at Utah State here, kicking the field goal. Hawaii elected not even to rush on this situation. Utah State, the only team not having a field goal during the year. Hawaii may have anticipated some type of fake or something coming out of Utah State, so they didn't even rush the kicker that time, and maybe next time they're going to have to do that with the Aggies, kicking that long field goal.
And there's a look at that 51-yard drive, the first of the year, the three-pointer, and they used 4 minutes off the clock. Their snapper, Ryan Wilson, as well, has had 2 bad snaps this year that have cost them in the field goal kicking department, so that's something at least they can hang their hat on.
Yeah, and it's not always the kicker. There's a lot of different things that go into that. Sometimes it can be the snap, so a lot of things go into kicking, but nice to see Utah State get on the board early and use up 4 minutes of the clock for their defense.
Shields kick fielded by Dickerson across the 20 and out to the 26 for the Wax top kick returner, and that's where the Warriors will start this series. Tackles made by Josh Anderson. So Hawaii, how do you stop them? That's the big question. They lead the nation, averaging 45 points per game, and Brennan just doesn't make many mistakes.
No, he doesn't. I think this Hawaii team and any run-and-shoot team will drive defensive coordinators absolutely crazy. Mark Johnson, the defensive coordinator, said if we can just get them to break serve, if we can just kind of stop them and break serve a little bit and give our offense a chance to go down and score, that's the motivation we need defensively.
They scored on 6 straight possessions and put 68 points on the board last week against against Idaho. Starting this series from the 31, inside handoff, Ilawa, and he bangs his way across the 30, drives forward to the 32-yard line. This is a 254-pound guy. Igboli tackles him. He has great feet, though, for a guy that size.
Yeah, and anytime you can get a guy that big that is running downhill, and they talk about running downhill, that's just running over people at that size at 255. And, defensive coordinator Mark Johnson, he was concerned about him, too, because you worry so much about their passing. He has the ability to just run you over.
And that's why you worry about the passing. Look at that, 163 attempts, 20 touchdowns. And the last time he was picked, you got to go all the way back to a game against Eastern Illinois in non-conference play. On second down and short, handoff inside Ilawa. He breaks a big one into Utah State territory and down to the 35-yard line. Rumbles the Virginia native Marquise Charles on the tackle. He runs a 4.55 40, and he's a runaway freight train.
He is. Actually, his nickname is Nasty, and you can see why at the end of this run. He's not a guy that's going to run out of bounds. With that size and the speed that he has, he's just going to try to impact somebody at the end of this. You see him try to just run over the tacklers, and June Jones said he's probably the best player on the field. He thinks Brennan's probably the most talented guy as far as skills-wise, but Brennan may be the best athlete.
First down at the Utah State 34 is the Hawaii rushing game. Maybe the best rushing numbers June Jones has had at Hawaii. Very confident in what they can do. Brennan looking deep down the middle of the field. Sample can't come up with it. Ian Sample had to gauge that ball. He had looked one way and had to change his course of direction. Still almost came up with it.
You can see his ability. Ian Sample, all these guys have such talent and the ability to find the football. He's tied for the team lead with 8 TDs on the year, so he can catch the football, and he makes a great adjustment by going after this.
He's had some big games this year. Couldn't quite come up with that one. Had 5 catches. 2 of them went for touchdowns in a victory against Nevada. Second down and 10 from the 34-yard line. Colt Brennan, the junior from Irvine, same high school as Matt Leinart. Pressure coming, throws in the flat, catch made by Bess. And Bess has a first down for Hawaii. Devon Hall on the tackle. Bess, their leader in catches and yards. And June Jones calls him a better Andre Rison.
Yeah, he's fourth nationally in catches per ball game, but a lot of credit has to go to Colt Brennan. The way he just lost this ball over the top. These guys can catch the football, but it's because Colt Brennan can lay it right on the money. Nice touch as he just throws it over the top, and that comes from throwing so many bubble screens that we haven't even seen this Hawaii team throw yet.
You saw his numbers. Averages almost 7.5 catches per game for this Hawaii team. First down at the Utah State 24-yard line. Brennan trying to lead him to another score. Has the ball, little flare, and that ball is caught for a loss by Ilawa. Lost a yard on the play.
Yeah, that's a design play by this Hawaii team. They take their running back and they kind of chip off of the end and make him get some contact and turn around. It's really a quick screen is what it is. The offensive line initially made contact with their lineman, and then they try to go out and get in front of him. But it's a design play that works real effectively against a Utah State team or any team that's going to rush the quarterback aggressively.
And remember, Ilawa has 40 catches on the year, averages over 11 yards per catch from his running back position. Second and 11 from the 25-yard line. Midway through first quarter, Hawaii looking good on their first series and their second as well. Brennan looking near side for the pylon and incomplete. Intended for Chad Mock, the senior from Honolulu. Marquise Charles on coverage.
Credit Marquise Charles here doing a nice job defensively in the secondary covering this. This Utah State team is trying to challenge these Hawaii receivers. They're walking up on them and trying to play some man-to-man defense, and you'll see this Hawaii team, if Utah State continues to do that, this Hawaii team will continue to throw the ball deep on this one-on-one coverage.
Third and 11 now for June Jones offense. The leader in so many categories in the WAC and nationally as well. They average over 528 yards of total offense. Third and 11. Brennan, pressure coming up the middle. He has some room to run. He's going to tuck it. Brennan has the first down, and he's out of bounds to the 13-yard line, showing his ability to run the football. He moves the chains. Devon Hall pushes him out of bounds.
Well, when you're a quarterback and you have great speed and the ability to make people miss, it really puts pressure on defensive backs. You can see them looking at him. They know he's going to possibly run the football, but you do not want to give up your responsibility to these receivers. And these receivers are trying to make their way open or find a hole in the defense, and defensive backs just don't have the ability to cover a guy and try to protect the quarterback from getting that first down.
He has a couple touchdown runs this year, picks up 12 on that play. First down now at the Utah State 13. Hawaii trying to add to their early 7-3 lead here. They'll go trips to one side this time with Devon Best in the slot, setting up the screen. Caught by Ilawa inside the 5, takes it in. Touchdown Hawaii. 2 touchdown passes on 2 possessions for Colt Brennan, and he now has 35 for the year.
Well, you mentioned Ilawa averaging about 11 yards per catch, but if you total up the total yards that the quarterback Brennan throws to him, I bet you it's about a 3 or 4 yard pass, and he has the ability to just turn it into touchdowns. That's that quick swing. We talk about Utah State being able to rush the quarterback, and if you do that, you're going to put yourself very vulnerable to that quick screen that this Hawaii team runs.
Kelly for the extra point, and the kick is through there. 14-3, the 254-pound senior in his 6th year with the Hawaii program, making it look easy, rumbling to the end zone. And the Warriors look very good on the road.
The kickoff for the Aggies.
Hawaii in front 14-3. Nate Ilawa with a touchdown catch, his 3rd of the season on a little screenplay.
You could see that had a few blockers out front of him. With the size he has, he doesn't really need blockers out front. It's called Bob, be your own blocker.
Look at this Hawaii offense. I mean, the numbers are just mind-boggling. 45 points per game leads the nation. Passing yards leads the nation. And then you see the total yards as well. And they've taken care of the football as well over the last month or so, and that makes them that much better. That was the knock in the losses to Alabama and Boise State, is Kevin Robinson won't be able to return that one.
Yeah, this Hawaii team, they're kind of, when we talked about nationally, they've got all these national rankings, and they're starting to get national recognition, I think. And that's what June Jones would like to have, and winning will continue to do that for this team. And, this offensive line that they have on, we haven't even talked about 3 of the guys that have NFL possibilities there. So they're able to recruit guys, and they're getting better and better at getting talented players in there. And June Jones really has this program going in the right direction, and he really wants to build on it this year.
Riley Nelson, in his freshman year, he's put up good numbers coming off his worst game at Louisiana Tech, where he threw 2 early interceptions in that game. Handoff to Marcus Cross off right tackle, gets 3 yards, and that's about it. Ikaika Alama-Francis, the senior, up front, shutting the door. And there's Malila Purcell as well. They're big. I mean, they've got some guys, some 300-pounders, but some guys with some height as well. Alama-Francis is 6'6".
Yeah, both their ends are NFL prospects, and a lot of scouts are looking at both guys on the inside at 6'6" and 6'5", 285 and 276.
2nd and 7 at the 23 for Nelson and the Aggies. Little pass into the flat, catch made by Omar Sawyer, and he's double-teamed, gang-tackled, and dropped at the 28-yard line. Adam Leonard, the MAC linebacker, their leading tackler, hit him hard. He's a big guy and runs a 4.7 40 as well.
Yeah, he's a highly recruited guy, actually, out of Seattle, Washington, and you see him, he gets a nice block here on the outside by Kevin Robinson, but back to Leonard, he's a guy that was highly recruited and with a lot of talent, just a sophomore, so he's got a lot of time to play for this Hawaii team, and more than likely, he'll be another one of those guys that NFL scouts take a look at.
5-yard catch by Sawyer, 3rd and 2 at the 28. Aggies are trying to keep the football and keep it away from that high-powered Warriors offense. Nelson, play action, rolling to his right, throws to Bohm, the tight end, hit, dives forward, and I think the second effort got the first down for him. A.J. Martinez, the junior corner on the tackle, but Bohm's a big guy at 6'2", 273, and he just muscled his way there.
Yeah, A.J. Martinez coming up 5'10", 179, going against a guy like that, you wonder, when you have that much air in between you and the guy that catches the ball, you wonder, boy, how am I going to tackle this guy? But you see him here, nice effort coming in, trying to tackle him low, and that's the only way you're going to stop somebody that big.
Bohm's 5th catch of the year, has a touchdown catch against Idaho this year. They move the chains. Fresh set of downs now at the 30-yard line. Nelson under center this time. Runs some option. Hit, breaks a tackle, face mask maybe as he moves it across the 35-yard line. Nelson showing his ability in the open field. Tyson Kafensis, the sophomore linebacker on the tackle. He ran a gun in high school, but looks pretty good on the option.
Yeah, and again, that's what Brent Guy said yesterday. And Greg Stevens, the offensive coordinator, probably the biggest surprise for this Utah State offense is his ability, Riley Nelson's, to run the football. They knew he was good in high school, but they didn't think he would be able to do that at the college level, and he's really surprised a lot of people.
Pick up a 5, 2nd and 5. You see the rushing numbers. A lot of that is when things break down, and he just has to ad-lib in the open field. From the shotgun this time. Nelson has time, zips it over the middle, through the hands of the intended receiver, Myers, incomplete.
Now Myers had a big catch out in the flat before, and this time you need to come up with that. You need to come up with that catch. As an offense, Utah State has to believe on the sideline that this Hawaii team's going to put up a lot of points. So every time you have the opportunity to go down and score, you've got to make plays. And Rob Myers wasn't able to come up with that catch, but he's already helped him out once. I look forward to him making other catches to help this team out. 3rd down and 5. They'll send Robinson and Bowman to one side of the field. Robinson in motion with 2 split backs. Nelson, pressure coming, sets and fires downfield, and that ball's almost intercepted. In the hands of A.J. Martinez. It was intended for Robinson. Martinez almost had his first pick of the year. Yeah, Kevin Robinson turned into a defender as looked like they were going to pick that off, and good receivers will do that. They'll anticipate what's going on in the field, know where players are, and he feels that he's going to come down with this, and he turns into a defender, and Kevin Robinson helps his teammate out. Leon Jackson, the junior, 4th in the WAC. You see the numbers, over 37 yards per punt, hangs this one up there. And returning it for Hawaii is Myron Newberry across the 30. The ball comes free at the 33. That's a loose football. No indication yet. Hawaii will keep it. Newberry coughed it up, but the Warriors will keep it at the 33. And it was Ryan Wilson that was in the middle of the pile there, mixing things up, but Hawaii will have the ball. Well, you've got to create your own breaks sometime in football games. Utah State does a nice job here of, missing him originally, but converging on him, and they looked like they tried to tackle the football. His knee was down. It looked like the right call there, but you want to create turnovers. This Hawaii team's done a better job of holding on to the football as of recent, but there Utah State was looking to get a turnover and try to jumpstart this team. Late first quarter, Hawaii 2 for 2, couple touchdown drives will go to work from their 31-yard line. In motion, Devon Best, the sophomore from Oakland. Now he sets up on the near side, and they have penalty flags. They're going to blow this play dead. Well, Utah State is really mixing it up what they're doing on defense.
Before the ball can be snapped, ball start, number 84 on offense. 5-yard penalty, first down.
So they'll back him up. Of course, Hawaii is waiting for a bowl invitation should they get a victory here. Don't forget, it's Christmas Eve, December 24th, the Sheraton Hawaii Bowl, live on ESPN from Aloha Stadium in Honolulu. 5th year of the bowl has produced some spectacular fireworks on the offensive side. This year, join us. Leave that cold weather behind. For ticket info, 808-548-BOWL in Hawaii. Outside Hawaii, 800-291-3999. Hawaii goes to the ground game, and not much happening as Frank Miley busted that play up. The defensive tackle did a nice job for Utah State. Well, we mentioned break and serve. That's what this Utah State defense needs to do here. When your offense doesn't go down and score, you want to rely on that defense to go out there and make a stop. And if Utah State can stop them here and give their offense a chance to get back on the board and just stay in this ball game early. Loss of 5 on that last play. 2nd and 15 now, back at the 26-yard line. 4 receivers, 3 to one side for Brennan. Half roll, throws downfield. Best has it. He's at the 40, and he's knocked out of bounds about a yard shy of the first down. Coverage over there by Caleb Taylor, the strong safety, but so quick on the delivery, Brennan, and you turn around and the ball's there. Jay, yeah, I was just going to mention that. As you watch him throw the football, kind of like a slinger, just slings it to the side, and that's part of the run-and-shoot offense. Mouse Davis and these coaches, Dan Morrison, works with the quarterbacks, try to get rid of the ball quick. That's what it's all about. It used to be 3-step drop. It's a lot of shotgun now, but just get rid of the football and get it in the hands of the playmakers. Trying to make it 3 for 3 on third downs. 3rd down and 2 from the 39-yard line. Brennan has the snap, sips it over the middle, incomplete. He wanted Dickerson through his hands, and that baby had some mustard on it.
They didn't. Hawaii's unique in that most teams are in the 3rd down and 1 situation, 3rd down and 2. They'll mix in the run a lot of times trying to pick up that 1st down. This Hawaii team, June Jones says he looked at film. They were 13 out of 13 in attempts when they were 3rd down and 1 trying to go for a 1st down. So they're really unconventional when you look at that.
Here's a look at Kevin Robinson, the WAC leader in kick returns, as Kurt Milne, the senior punter, gets it away. Robinson has it, hit, ball comes free at the 18, and a flag comes in as well. Was he given the opportunity to catch the football? That's the question there. A couple penalty flags on the turf.
Well, the defender was being blocked as he came down into it. Looked like the time was just about right, but would probably have to see it on slow motion to be able to tell it was that close, but it looks like the referees believe that he did get there a little bit early.
Robinson a couple years ago had 2 punt returns and a kick return for scores. He was number 2 in the nation in punt return average. Here's another look.
Make the call!
Tough to see, but it looks like he may have gotten there just a little bit early.
There was no foul for kick-catch interference because the kicking team player was blocked into the receiver by the receiving team. To get blocked by the receiving team was an illegal block in the back, half the distance to the goal, 1st down.
Well, John, you had that one. You made the call there.
Well, it looked like he did get there early, but he was blocked into him, and unfortunately for Utah State, they also called it a block in the back, so they're going to be backed up half the distance to the goal line in that. So Utah State gets a break by not getting this fumble, but then they become unfortunate with the block in the back.
Robinson had every intention to catch that football, didn't he? Wanting a chance at a big return, so Brent Guy's Aggies start deep from their 9-yard line in this series as they'll go single running back. Antron McDaniel, the junior, now into the game, and 4 receivers. Handoff, McDaniel up the middle across the 10 and out to the 15-yard line. Nice change of pace bringing in McDaniel for Cross. He's had some nice games this year. 33 yards was his best outing against San Jose State. Solomon Elamimian, the Buck linebacker, on the tackle.
Yeah, McDaniel's been banged up a little bit. His ribs are banged up, but most running backs this time of the year, no matter what conference you're in, most running backs are banged up, but he's a guy that's trying to get in there and play with some sore ribs.
6-yard pickup, 2nd and 4 now at the 15. Aggies trying to dig out of a hole back near their goal line. On the pitch this time, McDaniel trying to keep his feet going, and he's tripped up and loses a yard back to the 14-yard line. And that could be the final play of this first quarter, and it appears it will be. Michael Lafaele, the nose tackle from Honolulu, on the stop. 1 quarter in the books from Logan, Utah. Hawaii, as advertised, looking very impressive. The Sheraton Hawaii Bowl could be awaiting the Warriors. They've scored on their first 2 possessions, and they have a 14-3 lead. Road Warriors thus far after 1 quarter at Utah State. Hawaii in front of the Aggies 14-3 as we start this 2nd quarter. 3rd down and 5 from the 14-yard line for Utah State. Trying to keep the drive going, and you just don't want to give the guys in green and white another opportunity with the football.
No, defensively, you got what you wanted in a stop there. Now you need to rely on that offense to go down there and try to put some points on the board. You don't want this Hawaii team to start to get away from you. As soon as they start to get away from you a little bit, it's tough to reel them back in.
Now, Coach Guy is going to call a timeout here with 3rd and 5 coming up. Important play here to give this guy some confidence. They have the drive for the field goal, but at times he's been pretty impressive moving the football for this team.
He has, and he's been really successful at the end of ball games. When we haven't talked about his ability to move the team down when things have happened at the end of ball games, but 3 or 4 of moving his team down there, get him in scoring position and trying to put some points on the board. So real talented for a freshman and a guy that plays with a lot more confidence than what a freshman does, and I think that's what impresses this staff on Utah State as much as anything.
Coach Guy trying to put a stamp on the program, and he knows it's a process. He'll be recruiting Texas, California, and Las Vegas as well, from what we understand, including his home state, trying to put the pieces in place. It takes some time.
Yeah, and it's awfully difficult, too, when you guys that get guys that are going away on missions and everything else to be able to try to figure out who you need and whether you go junior college route and all those type of things.
3rd down 5 yards to go after the timeout from the 14-yard line. 3 receivers. Nelson has a low snap over the middle, incomplete. Sawyer, the intended receiver, I don't think he even saw the football. They weren't on the same page there.
No, and sometimes that'll happen, but you can see Riley moving over to the sideline and kind of just putting his arms out, not knowing exactly what happened. He expected his receiver to come underneath, and the linebacker was right there. He went over the top. So if you're not on the same page, certainly it's difficult to get combined in.
So Leon Jackson, who started the year quarterback, to punt it.
Receiving is Myron Newberry.
And Myron Newberry at his 44 for Hawaii. There's a look at Jackson. He's had a good year punting the football and gets off a high spiraling kick. Fair catch being called for by Newberry, and he makes it at the 48-yard line. So excellent field position for the Warriors. A short field to work with, up 14-3. Hawaii's high-powered offense is not disappointed. The Warriors up 11, and the visitors from Hawaii enjoying it. Welcome back to Logan, Utah. Hawaii has a 14-3 lead here early second quarter in northern Utah. Hawaii hoping they're in the Sheraton Hawaii Bowl again. Back in 2003, first of 2 Sheraton Hawaii Bowl wins. Vincent Marshall, 81-yard touchdown catch from Kevin Cole, tied it at 34. Third overtime, Houston and Hawaii. Michael Brewster, touchdown run. Up 54-48. Houston trying to come back, and they come up short. The incomplete pass. Hawaii wins 54-48. 4 bowl games for June Jones in his tenure at Hawaii. That was a successful season as they pulled it out, and there have been so many offensive fireworks. Look at these numbers from 03.
Yeah, the Sheraton Hawaii Bowl is one that you really don't want to miss. I mean, explosiveness, kind of like, you just get teams out there and play, basketball on grass.
It is fun to watch if you like offense, and most people do. First down for Hawaii. Short field as they go to work. Pass complete to Dickerson into Utah State territory and knocked down at the 48-yard line. Devon Hall, the Aggie back, sophomore on the tackle.
Go back to that Hawaii Bowl. Timmy Chang didn't actually start that game. Didn't come into the 3rd series of that ball game, and you see those numbers that were put up. So, they could just put him in at halftime, and you'll still put up some huge numbers.
Chang's still unbelievable. Brennan's not going to catch him in terms of total yardage and those things, but Brennan, June Jones feels again the best quarterback he has coached, and he is not disappointed today. 4-yard completion on that last play. 2nd and 6 now at the 48. In the backfield now, Regan Maia, the senior, in for Ilawa. Brennan has time. Wants best. Diving attempt, can't come up with it inside the 30-yard line. They really like to stretch the field, not vertically, but to the sidelines.
Yeah, they do. What they do is they put two receivers on both sides and try to balance out the defense, and then it gives Colt Brennan the opportunity to pick either side he wants to go to. And that time when he had the wide open field and he was able to get the corner route in there, he makes a nice throw. That was one of the first times you won't see Best come up with a great catch.
There you see Timmy Chang's numbers. He really set the standard for great Hawaii quarterbacks, and Brennan trying to take it to another level. He could cap off the best season ever at Hawaii under June Jones, who, if they run the table, they could have some special things on the horizon. Here's Brennan throwing and incomplete. Intended for Ian Sample, and 4th down upcoming. Keyjon Murphy, the freshman, on the coverage.
Nice job by Utah State being able to stop this Hawaii offense 2 times in a row, giving their offense maybe a big pickup on the sidelines. But we talked about break and serve, and that's what this Utah State defense wants to do. They've been able to do that 2 times in a row. Now they need to rely on that offense to go down there. Good job by the defensive backs for Utah State.
So they'd like to get them out of the rhythm. At least they've done it a little bit here after those first 2 possessions. Milne will try to pin him back deep. He's put 2 inside the 20 this year. Robinson coming up and makes a diving headfirst catch at the 21-yard line. So the Aggies will start there. They've had worse field position. They'll start this one from the 21. Utah State trying to get some offense. They'll need it against a high-powered Hawaii team. 14-3 here in Logan. Utah State has the football, trailing 14-3 here early in the second quarter. Aggies first down from the 21-yard line. Riley Nelson, the freshman, goes to work. Fires it in the flat. Catch made by Robinson for 5 yards across the 25-yard line. We talked about Colt Brennan, John. This Riley Nelson, quite a story. was in a comfort zone in high school, safe to say. National high school record, 84 touchdowns, 53 through the air. Unbelievable here from nearby Logan High School, what he did at that level.
Yeah, and he had some teams coming after him, too. Utah liked him, Oregon liked him, and he just needs about 40 more yards to be all-time passing record for freshmen as a quarterback in a season. So, he's a guy didn't expect to get in there and play, but they knew he had ability. They were just wondering when he was going to play.
Short gain there as Kalili Muku in on the tackle. Nelson at just 18 years old, 9 Utah State records. He was Mr. Utah football and comes from a football family. It's unbelievable. Some of the great quarterbacks do. They have that football background, and they can translate it to the field.
Absolutely. You hear coach's son all the time, and backgrounds, how important it is. It's because they just kind of live it and breathe it, and that's what they do. They just watch football and they learn from good players.
3rd down and 4 from the 27-yard line. Going to run option. Nelson keeps, spins, and the second effort, I think, got him the first down across the 31-yard line. The thing they like about him is how bright he is. He just is smart out there, makes the right decisions at the right time.
Yeah, take a look at the San Jose State game that he played in his second start. He was 21 of 24 passing, 87.5% in that football game. So for a freshman to be able to come in there and play at a 1A level, be 21 of 24, that's tough to do just against the air in practice.
Look at how different they are with Nelson at the helm. They really struggled with Jackson. He had 6 picks. 5 of them were returned for touchdowns, and did not score in 3 of those games. Nelson, different story. Again, 35 points against Louisiana Tech. They also put some points on the board at San Jose State and won a game against Fresno State. Nelson in trouble, and he's hit, and he's sacked back at the 20-yard line. Pressure coming up the middle, and that was Ikaika Alama Francis, the senior from Oahu. You saw him before the game. He said he just looks like a football player.
Yeah, just seeing him from the press box, he looked big down on the field, and at 6'6", 285, he's one of the guys June Jones said that NFL scouts really like. And just take a look at the size that he has and his ability and speed, and you'll know why he's going to be an NFL player.
Didn't play in their last game against Idaho with back spasms, but the defensive co-captain, and he really initiates a lot of what happens up front for the Warriors.
He's so good because he's a converted basketball player, too. And we were talking last night, they may be the best athletes out there, basketball players. You'd like to have a lot of those guys.
And on 2nd and 18, that pass intended for Myers, almost intercepted. Adam Leonard jumped in front of that pass. The sophomore almost had a pick 6.
You see him here, just back to pass, trying to stay in there. Boy, he takes a big pop from the guys on the outside. And, for a freshman to be able to stand there, he knows these guys are coming. You just wonder what the guys from Hawaii are saying to him there. But Adam Leonard almost picked that ball off. He's a guy, had a knee injury last year as a freshman, would not redshirt, refused to do that. And he's just a tough guy that this Hawaii team looks for leadership. And only being a sophomore, he's getting a lot of experience early.
The Aggies 2 of 5 on 3rd downs, 3rd and 18, and they just get the snap off on this play. Blitz coming backside. Got rid of the football. And that was Leonard from the backside, showing his ability to play a receiver and then come after the quarterback.
And he showed great speed coming off the edge. Riley was looking to his right that time to try to find his receiver, and he had a guy in the left slot where Adam Leonard vacated from to the left. But you see, he feels the pressure to the outside, and that's the thing that hurts most from a quarterback, is not the initial hit, but it's when the guy lands on top of you the second time.
That's a 236-pounder coming full speed as you look at Newberry waiting the punt from Leon Jackson. A high hanger again. Newberry coming up on it, makes the catch at the 39, hit right away and dropped. Good coverage that time. Robinson was down there. And they also got some help from Ryan Wilson. So the Warriors still with excellent field position will start this next series from the 40-yard line.
There's a lot of talk about this Hawaii offense, but that defense for Hawaii has become pretty aggressive under Glanville. And, just in the last ball games, they've gotten a lot of turnovers in the last ball games, interceptions, fumble recovery. So they've become really aggressive. And you can see as they went after Riley Nelson there, the quarterback, how much more aggressive this defense has become.
And they almost don't mind giving up the yards because they're making people turn it over and giving this guy, number 15, an opportunity. Brennan, little shovel pass. Ilawa has room to roll. He's to the 40. Ilawa to the 30. He may go. The 10. He takes it the distance. Touchdown, Hawaii. 60 yards for Nate Ilawa off the shovel pass from Brennan, and Hawaii extends the lead to 20-3.
Well, Trey, you mentioned that the guy has 4.55 speed, and if you had any doubt that he had 4.55 speed at 255 pounds, that should give you your answer right there. You can see him. Nobody was going to catch him. If he had a field that was 160 yards long, there was nobody catching him. He was just breaking away from defensive backs, and that's impressive for a guy that weighs as much as he does.
So Hawaii showing their ability with their running back. We know about the passing game, and the shovel pass works perfectly as Kelly adds the extra point, and it's 21-3. Nasty Nate Ilawa, senior from Stafford, Virginia, and he has put up some huge numbers here in the first half.
Well, we talked about him throwing the football to him. They've probably thrown the balls, traveled about 9 yards through the air, but he's got a lot of yards on the ground, and they just get the ball in his hands, and you see how big he is and punishing he is. Look at him at the end of that run, and then you see the speed that he has down here. He has the ability to make people miss. Not only that, but then now you see his speed. So he's got great power, great speed, the ability to the vision. He's got all the tools that you need for a running back.
Couple touchdown grabs, 3 touchdown passes now in the game for Brennan, who is now 2 shy of the school record for touchdown passes in a season. Boy, they just come at you from so many angles. You can't just focus on one guy.
No, as a quarterback, boy, you certainly would like to be in this offense when you can just flip the ball to a running back there, get credit for a throw, and have your running back run it 60 yards down the field and get some touchdowns.
So a 21-3 lead with over 10 minutes to go here in the second quarter. Kelly has it teed up and boots it away. It'll be Robinson, 5 yards deep. He'll let it bounce. And the touchback, and the Aggies will start at the 20. Well, Hawaii has put the pedal to the metal, and they have not let up. And when you look over the course of their last 5 games in this win streak, unbelievable. I mean, 68 a couple times against Idaho and Fresno State, 49 at New Mexico State, 44 Eastern Illinois, 41 Nevada. They're unbelievable with the numbers they put up there.
They are, and I think that's why this Utah State team wanted to have a lot of cold weather today and hoping for some snow. Anything they can to get an advantage, just try to stop this Hawaii team. It's not this Utah State defense. It's all defenses trying to stop this Hawaii offense. It's just such a big mix. They've got great playmakers, and it makes it difficult to stop.
So Nelson and company trying to generate something as they hand it off to Cross, and he's hit by Leonard after a short gain of a couple of yards. Evan Leonard making his presence felt. Sophomore from Seattle, all over the place.
Yeah, 67 tackles on the year coming into the ball game, leading this team in tackles, and he's got 1 interception on the year. But he's a guy that's a guy that can stop the run. You got backers. Some backers like to drop in the pass coverage. He likes to get across the line of scrimmage and make some plays in the backfield.
He had 11 tackles in their loss at Alabama, game they feel they should have won. Along with the Boise State game, those were 2 they were in. We'd be talking about a perfect season. Still 6-2. Very impressive year for June Jones. Nelson pitches it to Cross, and he's tripped up and dropped. And that is Brad Kalilimoku, the junior from Honolulu, who gets the start ahead of Kafensis. Nice play.
You get the feeling when you were talking to June Jones that he would like to have that Alabama and that Fresno State game over again, or Boise State game over again, because they had them early in the year, and they feel like that offense is on a roll right now, and the defense is playing so well. They just like to have that opportunity to play Alabama back again.
I don't think the defense gets enough attention. I mean, these guys are flying around. Of course, Utah State has had their struggles, but the linebacker play has been excellent here in the first half for the Warriors. Nelson rolling left, backside pressure from Leonard, still rolling. Now he's going to tuck it. Nelson bangs ahead, and he has a first down. Got a good individual effort there from Nelson. You can see where he's comfortable running the football.
Now, once he gets to the outside, he looks up the field, and the defensive backs for Hawaii have the receivers covered, and he gets to the outside and shows some great speed here. Again, we mentioned him setting the passing record for a freshman as a quarterback. He also can set the record for a rushing quarterback as a freshman, too, and he was only 160 yards away from that coming into the game.
Our other defensive co-captain Leonard Peters, a free safety on that last tackle for Hawaii. Look at the opening drive, but they have not done much since that point. Sizzling at the outset to get that field goal. Here's a handoff straight ahead to Antron McDaniel, and he is stood up. Good gracious. Stood up by Jacob Patek, the strong safety. First year as a Division I player after 3 years at Blinn Junior College in Texas.
Well, and you get that taste of 1A football, and you wonder how you're going to do coming out of junior college. And he's a guy that stepped right in and had the ability to get up there and contribute to this team. And all of these guys for Hawaii, they want to come up and punish you. They just don't want to make a tackle. They want to come after you and try to rip your head off.
2nd down and 8 at the 33-yard line. Look at Leonard again from his linebacker spot. Nelson sets, throws, catch made by Robinson, and that is a first down for Utah State. Brad Kalilimoku on the tackle. They need to get number 6 involved. He had a huge game against Louisiana Tech. 6 catches, 141 yards, couple touchdowns.
Riley Nelson does a nice job here finding his receiver, and he steps right into the throw. As a freshman, a lot of times you got to teach the guy to step up and do what he does. In high school, he was a lot of shotgun. Here, he has the ability to just kind of step up and throw it. And he's not real big. He's listed as 6'1", so has the ability and a nice arm. A lot more impressive than you think when you saw him yesterday out in the walkthrough.
Calls his number here. A quarterback draw as Leonard makes the tackle after a short gain of 3 yards across the 47-yard line. Well, number 44, just keep an eye on him. He has his hat on the ball, it seems like, every play.
Yeah, he's one of the top guys in the WAC, number 5 in the WAC in tackles, and won't mention him all day, but he's a guy that's going to be great for the next 2 years for this Hawaii team. 2nd
down, they give him 4 on that last carry, 6 yards to go from the 48-yard line. Handoff, straight ahead, McDaniel, he fumbles the football, it's loose at the 48, and the Warriors say they have it, and they do. So Antron McDaniel coughs it up, and this is what Hawaii has been doing well of late. You talked about it. They have forced 15 turnovers the last 5+ games. Lawrence Wilson in on that one.
And when a defense does that, it really helps helps the team in general. And they have all of those turnovers. They've got 3 TDs out of them as well. So they're not only getting the turnovers and forcing them, they're also scoring on opportunities.
Rocky Savainaya, the freshman from Oahu, stripped it. And they get the football. As you look at the turnover margin, that has been a big story for this team during their 5-game winning streak. First down, handoff, Ilawa turns the corner. He cuts it back. He's to the 40, bangs his way down to the 35-yard line. 13 yards on that carry. That has to be a frightening sight for a corner and for a linebacker.
Utah State's defense is trying to do whatever they can to slow this Hawaii offense down, and they're mixing things up defensively. But as soon as you're ready to stop the pass, they start handing the ball off to the inside. You can see them trying to blitz, doing whatever they can. It's not like they're sitting back, not trying anything. Hawaii's just making the right calls, and that's what Colt Brennan can do for you, is he can put you in the right position by, reading the defense and then trying to make the right calls and putting their offense in that situation.
Yeah, Hawaii has just enough of a running game to keep them honest. It opens up the passing game even more. Bevan Howard on the last tackle. Brennan to throw it this time over the middle. It's Rivers, breaks a tackle. He's to the 10, and he's in the end zone. 35 yards, Brennan to Jason Rivers. And the junior from Oahu pulls in his 7th touchdown grab of the season and is 27-3.
And Jason Rivers is not a guy you typically see to the inside. He's not one of the slot guys. He's the taller guy, 6'2", 192 on the outside. He's the guy, more of a vertical guy that you expect to go deep, but caught a slant pass there, and you can see all of these guys can break tackles after the catch.
And they get everybody involved. You mentioned Brennan, the long frame. He had 6 catches, 108 yards, and a touchdown in their runaway victory against Idaho. Gets them on the board again. Kelly's extra point is perfect, and it's 28-3. Hawaii averages 45 per game. They have 28 already here in the first half. Brennan with 4 touchdown passes. He finds Grice-Mullens, Ilawa a couple times, and then this guy, Jason Rivers, 35 yards to the end zone. They're up 25.
I'll take.
Jason Rivers chose Hawaii over schools like Washington State, Colorado. Probably glad he did. He's enjoying being a part of this offense. The 7th touchdown catch of the season. 28-3 now Warriors in front at Utah State. 4 touchdown passes for Colt Brennan as he continues his assault on the record books. And Dan Kelly again to kick it away for Hawaii. Kevin Robinson He's going to get a crack at this one from the goal line. Down the sideline to the 20. And Robinson at the 24-yard line. Inoki Funaki on the tackle. Pressure all day on the quarterback from the Hawaii side. Won a game against Fresno State. Nelson in trouble.
Right here you can see once you get hit as a quarterback, and right here, it's not the initial hit, it's the second hit when a defender lands on top of you. You can see Riley getting up slowly there. It looks like he may have lost his breath a little bit, but tough guy getting up and making his way to the sidelines. And 7 of 13 on the day with all that pressure, not bad. They just need to try to get the ball up the field and something good happen to this offense and have somebody break something.
Their defensive ends very good for Hawaii, but the linebackers you saw there, Leonard, Elamimi, and they're providing pressure as well. First down, Aggies from the 24. Quarterback draw, Nelson across the 30, and he's hit by guess who? Leonard at the 32-yard line. The ball was down. It came free after he hit the turf. Boy, you know Leonard's coming, and he stands in there and comes up with a good run.
Now, Riley Nelson may have some nightmares tonight thinking about Adam Leonard coming after him, but they continue to go with him. He's not a big guy, but just a tough guy, and he's showing a lot of leadership ability for this Utah State offense.
They marked that football just across the 32-yard line. Second down and 1 coming up. Look at Leonard's numbers. You mentioned 5th in the WAC. The leading tackler also has a sack, and he's recovered a couple fumbles on the year. Handoff straight ahead and nothing doing. And that was tough sledding for Ryan Bohm as Ikaika Alama Francis jumped all over him. There's another one of their talented players on that side of the ball.
Yeah, guys with great size and speed, and tough for this Utah State offensive line. They've had some guys banged up a little bit, so it makes it even more difficult when you've got 2 defensive ends that can play in the NFL, and both of these guys expected to do that. So tough chore for this offensive line for Utah State.
On the roll, Nelson, and the catch made by Myers, a tight end, and that's an Aggies first down up to the 47-yard line. Here's a guy they'd like to get a little bit more involved. Good size and speed at 6'4", 237. Had a catch earlier in the game, over the middle this time.
Great catch, throw here a little bit high, but goes up and makes the catch, and you wonder what the defensive backs for Hawaii, the way they like to come up and hit you, the ability to stay with this and catch the ball in your hands. You know you're going to take a hit after this, and he goes up and holds on to it. Great catch.
Leonard Peters, a free safety on the tackle. First down. Aggies at their 46-yard lines. We're near the 3-minute mark here, second quarter. A penalty flag comes in.
Before the ball leaves snap, false start, number 76 offense. 5-yard penalty, second down.
That's Malik Jin, the German, the 320-pound senior. He's really battled a ton of injuries, including an Achilles injury, and he was the guilty party.
Yeah, and this week in practice, just this week on Tuesday, he went down with an ankle injury too. So yesterday in the walkthrough, he was all taped up and said he was going to go out here and try to play today, and he's doing the best job he can.
First down and 15 now as Myers will shift in motion. Nelson from the gun, quarterback draw, hit again, and pushed backwards by Elamimi and amongst others. That can work from time to time, but Hawaii ready for it now.
You can only go to the well so many times, but Riley's a guy they're going to have to rely on. They haven't had much in the running game with Marcus Cross and Aaron McDaniel, so they're relying on the quarterback to try to pick up those yards. You'll see him try to get back to the outside. Early in the game, they had some success throwing the ball to the outside, and it looked like it opened up the running game a bit. This Utah State trying to hurry things up now.
See Solomon Elamimi in there on that last play. Play action this time on 2nd and long. Downfield goes Nelson. He has Robinson on the trigger, and he's tackled inside the 20-yard line. Contact finally brings him down, but there's the big playability of Robinson. They need a lot more of that. He can hurt you quickly on the deep pattern.
Yeah, Utah State breaks the huddle quickly that time, comes up to the line of scrimmage. They actually sprinted up to the line of scrimmage, faked the toss, and looked like he was going to go out into the flat. And when they did that, they had Hawaii's defense confused a little bit. And big play for Kevin Robinson, almost was able to break that tackle. And big play for Utah State to be able to get into the red zone.
Over 100 career catches for the junior Robinson, product of Fresno, California. First down at the 19-yard line now. Nelson, quarterback draw. Cuts it up inside, moves the pile forward, and a nice effort as he moves it down near the 15-yard line. Close to 4 on that carry as Blaze Suarez, the backup linebacker, was in on that tackle.
Yeah, the thing about this Utah State team, they've only been in the red zone 17 times this year. So, you look at other teams have double that amount. They've been able to score from outside of it, but 10 TDs out of 17 possessions inside the red zone.
Here's Baum, the fullback, trying to turn the corner, and he's knocked out of bounds after a short gain. That was Patek who kept that from being a big run and marked the football inside the 12. Pickup of 3, 3rd and short coming up. Bohm in the game, the sophomore from Logan. Linwood Johnson suspended. He's normally their starting fullback. But Ryan and Jimmy Bohm, not brothers, but both seeing action in this one. So the Aggies will call a timeout here with just over a minute to go, down 28-3. Brent Guy, in talking to him, he remains optimistic in terms of where this program is headed, and I think he knows that he feels like his philosophy is going to work. He's had a lot of defensive success leading up to being a head coach.
Yeah, and he's got a lot of young guys too. 16 guys making their first start this year, so he feels like he has an awful lot of good, talented young players. It's going to go through some trials here at first, but he really believes he can build on some of these early successes in their career.
The one thing he said after the win against Fresno State here at Romney Stadium, he said after that game, he said, we believe we're going to win now. Up to that point, you get shut out 3 times and you're not in any game. They have some things to build off of, and that's one of the victory right there was one of them.
And if you don't have players that you've recruited that believe in you and your program, it's difficult. You can lose those type of guys, but he's been able to hold this team together.
Don't forget, Christmas Eve is right around the corner. The Sheraton Hawaii Bowl, live on ESPN from Aloha Stadium in Honolulu. 5th year of this annual bowl, and it is producing fireworks. You saw the 03 game. This year, I'm sure a lot of offense as well. For ticket info, call 800-291-3999 outside Hawaii. In Hawaii, 808-548-BOWL. Visit SheratonHawaiiBowl.com. Nelson on 3rd and short, looking to throw. Pressure. Throws. It's caught. And it's still going to be short of the first down as they got something out of it. Ryan Bohm, the catch inside the 12-yard line. But 4th down is upcoming.
Well, Riley Nelson got away with one here. He had nobody open. As a freshman quarterback, you'll learn more and more. If nobody's open here, these guys in the red zone are going to come after you pretty quick. You just don't want to throw the ball up in the air. You just want to try to get rid of that. Fortunately for Utah State, they were able to come down with it and may have preserved an opportunity to either kick a field goal or here go for the first down.
Coach Guy looked like he wanted to call timeout with 4th and 2 coming up. And they will use the timeout here with 27 seconds to go before halftime. 28-3, and your options here, you'd like to get Nelson moving. I think that would be the one thing. Stationary, he's not as much of a threat.
Yeah, it gives him the ability. You have 2 options that way. You get him outside, he has the ability to run it or throw it, and you're right, I think they would like to work him in here. It looks like they're actually maybe trying to kick this.
So down 28-3, Brian Shields are going to try to build up his confidence even more after he connected on their first team field goal this season from 46 yards.
One thing they were working on yesterday was the fake up the middle. We'll see if Utah State may try that here.
And a penalty flag before the snap of the football. Delay a game.
5-yard penalty, 4th down.
Well, if it was a fake, that probably eliminates that opportunity. And when you look at the sidelines, you see Brent Guy on there. He was a little frustrated with his team. Typically, if you're going to run a fake, you want to get out there and do it right away. So, that may have thrown a wrench into everything here. And it looks like they'll probably just kick it.
So on 4th and 7, Shields will set up again. And before he does, another timeout is called. Coming up at halftime, you want to stay with us. We're going to take a look ahead to the Sheraton Hawaii Bowl. A preview, a victory here for Hawaii. They're expected to secure an invitation to that bowl game, a bowl game they've been very successful at. A preview of the Big 12, highlights and stats as well, all coming up at halftime from Logan, Utah. It has been a showcase here for the Hawaii Warriors, showing why they're so good offensively. We expected them to play well, and they sure have.
Yeah, that's why they continue to get that invitation to that Sheraton Hawaii Bowl, because they're an exciting football team, and people love offense. We give their defense a lot of credit, but it's their offense is why people turn the TV on and watch this Hawaii team, and it's just a credit to June Jones and what he's been able to do, and with this program, and he looks to continue to build on it. And he loves the Sheraton Hawaii Bowl for his team, because a lot of his players, although they get to play in Hawaii, they don't get to see some of the things that these players get to see when they're in the bowl game.
Yeah, you mentioned Pearl Harbor, some of the museums in downtown Honolulu, amongst some other things. As you look at Brian Shields, after connecting from 46, will try to make it 2 for 2 today. Out of the hole of Leon Jackson. 34-yarder on the way. And the kick is no good. And that continues the struggles for the kicking team for Utah State. They do get a 46-yarder from Shields in the first quarter, but it has been all Hawaii. 4 touchdown passes from Colt Brennan, and they take a 28-3 lead to the locker room here at Utah State. The Hawaii Warriors trying to punch their ticket to the postseason. Sheraton Hawaii Bowl officials are standing by. The defense has been solid for the Warriors. Offense, as advertised, 25-point lead at halftime. The Warriors showing why they're the top offense in college football, leading at Utah State 28-3 at halftime here in Logan, Utah. Joined by a couple special guests here at the half, and no secret why they are here. These two gentlemen to my right, Jim Donovan, Executive Director with the Sheraton Hawaii Bowl, and also David Uchiyama, with Starwood Hotels, the Director of Communications. Gentlemen, thanks for joining us. And I guess first and foremost, why are you here? And I think we know the answer to that question.
Well, if the Warriors are fortunate enough to win the game, Troy, we're going to extend an invitation for them to play on December 24th at Aloha Stadium in the 5th Sheraton Hawaii Bowl.
You have to be very excited seeing this kind of offense out here. I think everybody likes to see offense, don't they?
Certainly, and they're playing very exciting offense this year, and so far today they've done a great job.
David, talk about what this means to have Hawaii involved in something like this. I think this would be the best you could hope for.
Well, I think the Pac-10 affiliation with Hawaii being in the game is just added another level to the exposure for the Sheraton Hawaii Bowl. So we're looking forward to it.
And we can, of course, expect the good weather and offense as well, but a perfect place for a bowl game.
We're almost guaranteeing it.
Jim, about this Hawaii team, they've made this kind of their home. I mean, it seems like it fits perfectly into where they're headed with June Jones.
Oh, certainly. The Warriors have played very well, and if you look at how June's brought the offense along, it's fantastic. I mean, the receivers, the running back, Colt Brennan, one of the best quarterbacks that I've seen, and we expect it to be a very exciting Christmas Eve game.
What other things can we expect? We've seen a lot of fireworks and exciting things in the past, but what new things are on the horizon?
Well, as David mentioned, we have the Pac-10 playing in the game this year, and that's new for us. We had a relationship with Conference USA, so we're really looking forward to the Pac-10, and hopefully, if Hawaii is successful today, having Hawaii in the game, that should be a very exciting game on Christmas Eve. Great ratings.
Well, I can guarantee you we won't see the weather in Honolulu that we did here. This isn't bad, but it's hard to beat the islands.
Oh, I tell you, during Christmas, when half of the country's under snow, Sheraton Hawaii Bowl is where you got to be.
We're going to talk a little bit about the history of this bowl, because this just isn't any bowl game, guys. I mean, we've seen some fireworks in terms of triple overtime games. Look at the 0-2 Tulane game. That was the lowest scoring. But since that point, when you get Hawaii involved, you're promised a lot of points. And usually the game's coming down to the wire, which is also very attractive.
That's true, Trey. We've had 2 overtime games in the last 4 years. Even last year's overtime win, almost 100 points scored. And the last game that Hawaii was in overtime with was with Houston. I believe that was a triple overtime. So you can expect a lot of throwing, a lot of fun, a lot of excitement in that game.
Well, I was in Hawaii last December, really enjoyed it, but the bowl experience as well. It's special to be at a hotel, but also to be at a bowl game.
Oh, definitely. And, we're looking for all the Hawaii fans to come out this year, especially with the Pac-10 in the game.
Yep. And the Hawaii faithful, they really they see this offense, but they also know that not just this year, but down the road, it could be a place they spend a lot of time. They could be at this bowl game many years to come, right?
That's correct. I've been affiliated in and roundabout way with UH football for about 25 years, and I can tell you that this is probably the most special team that I've seen play in that 25-year period. I mean, the defense is playing great, offense is playing fantastic. We really hope people come out, if they're successful today and they get the invitation, and support the Warriors watching them play a Pac-10 team on Christmas Eve.
Well, thanks for coming. I know we're going to hear from you, it looks like, at the end of this game, and hear some more, get the official word, the formalities as the game wears on. But thanks for both of you for coming up here.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Trey.
The Sheraton Hawaii Bowl is right around the corner, December 24th. That's Christmas Eve. And again, for tickets in Hawaii, 808-548-BOWL, or outside Hawaii, 800-291-3999. Also, get online, SheratonHawaiiBowl.com. The Sheraton Hawaii Bowl right around the corner. Hawaii looking good at the break. 28-3 lead at Utah State.
See Monday.
28-3, Hawaii has a halftime lead over Utah State. I don't know what I'm tossing to here. Let's take a look now at a preview in the Big 12 Conference.
Standing by with Tom Luganville, I'm Mike Hall, previewing one of the 4 games this weekend where it's ranked team against ranked team. Big one in the Big 12, Oklahoma and Texas A&M. What can you say about what Alan Patrick has done replacing Adrian Peterson?
Well, he's done a sensational job, but I think you got to attribute much of his success to the production of the offensive line. This is a group that coming into the year, there were a lot of concerns, not only by Oklahoma coaches, but Oklahoma fans, that they weren't going to be able to hold up. Only one player with over 10 starts in his career in the offensive front, and that's Chris Messner at left tackle. But Alan Patrick has gotten it done, no doubt about it. 35 carries in his first start versus Colorado, 110 yards, and then 36 carries the week after. This young man's body has got to be sore, but he keeps trucking, and he's been able to pound the ball between the tackles.
And he lightens the load for Paul Thompson at QB.
And I think that works. It reciprocates each other. Both of these players have helped take the pressure off one another. Paul Thompson, extremely efficient on the road last week versus Missouri, 11-19, 2 touchdowns through the air. He's not making that error that can cost their football team field position and turning the football over. This is an offensive football team that has found a bit of a rhythm, and credit Coach Bob Stoops and the entire Oklahoma staff for holding this thing together. A lot of bad things have happened to this Oklahoma football team throughout the course of the year. One of the best coaching jobs, I think, in all college football.
And you'll want to stay close to the TV set tonight on ESPNU. 2 big games coming up in college football. 20th ranked Georgia Tech visiting NC State. And also Howard takes on South Carolina State on ESPNU. Halftime in Logan, Utah. It's been all Hawaii. The Warriors impressive at the break. The top offense in the nation flexing their muscles here at Utah State. Hawaii in front of the Aggies 28-3 at halftime. The offense is not disappointed in any way, shape, or form, John Gregory. When you talk about Colt Brennan, of course, at the helm, and so many receivers to work with, they are fun to watch. If you don't like this kind of offense, you don't like football.
No, you certainly don't. And this Hawaii team has not disappointed anybody in that. You know, Utah State, we talked about, wanted to break serve. They were able to do that a couple times, but they haven't got any scores offensively, and that's hurt this team. Well,
it's not just been Colt Brennan, though. Part of the story has been Nate Alawa, the running back, a 254-pounder, has made plays in the passing game for this team.
Yeah, he's got great ability, great speed, and he can make people miss. When they get the ball in his hand, he can do it with little short shovel passes, as you can see. You know, he's got great speed and breakaway speed, 4.55 speed at 265 pounds. That's an awful lot of pressure on a defense.
And it's not often you see a guy with that size and speed, but this is a Hawaii team that seems to be getting better and better. They're taking care of the football. They're forcing turnovers on the defensive side.
Yeah, they are. 13 in the last coming into this game in the last 5 ball games, and they're doing it with a lot of aggression too. They're going after guys and hitting guys, and they're forcing the turnovers. They're not just coming to them; they're going out there and forcing the turnover.
What does Utah State need to do? That's the big question. Coming in, one of the worst offenses in the country. They played a little bit better with Riley Nelson. They have to have they got to somehow force Hawaii to turn it over and turn it into big points.
Yeah, they're moving the ball at times, but they're getting stuffed up. This Hawaii defense is pretty big and pretty physical, but Utah State's got to get some big plays. They're trying to move the ball down the field and chew up the clock, but what they need to do is try to get some big plays offensively.
And there is the linebacker, Adam Leonard, who's had a monster first half thus far for Hawaii. I don't think their defense gets enough credit, and you would understand that with the numbers the offense puts up there.
Yeah, Jerry Glanville starting to get the attention of a lot of people across the country, and Hawaii's defense is really starting to get recognition.
Well, they are bowl-bound, it appears. They will get an official invitation, it appears, from the Sheraton Hawaii Bowl at the conclusion of this one, unless Utah State come out the comeback, 28-3 at the half. Picturesque setting, the Wellsville Mountains outside Logan, Utah. Hawaii has a lead as we start the third quarter, up 28-3 on the Aggies. Let's take a look at the highlight package from the first half. It was Hawaii early and often. Colt Brennan to Ryan Grice-Mullens for the first score. And then they got the running back going. Nasty Nadalawa on the ground. And then he did it as a receiver as well. Little flip over the middle for a score. A short variety there. And then 60 yards on this pass play for Nadalawa. And Hawaii was off and running. And then the defense showed up.
We mentioned that many times. They've been pretty aggressive defensively, and then defense stops them real quick, and then back to the offense.
Jason Rivers finds the end zone. The bright spot for Utah State, they didn't have many. Nelson was pretty good on his first drive, and Robinson was a big part of what they did.
Yeah, those are the two guys in this offense. When you look at Robinson and Nelson, they make things go, and a lot of credit to this freshman. He's been beat up a lot in this first half, but he continues to get up and try to play for this Utah State team.
Brian Shields alone points on that 46-yard field goal as Hawaii kicks it away. Robinson won't be able to return this one. Kelly's kick goes through the end zone, and they'll start on the 20-yard line. First half numbers, big time in favor of Hawaii. The one drive for the Aggies, and that was it.
That was it. And if you look at the time of possession, that really it's skewed. I mean, you look at it and you see Utah State with 20 minutes, but not the points on the board. This Hawaii team scores quickly.
Yeah, you need to throw those time of possession numbers out the door with this Hawaii team.
Yeah, it really doesn't matter. I mean, sometimes all the talk is about defenses, and defensive coaches don't like to play under this offense. Well, when you put that many points on the board, it doesn't matter.
Low snap to Nelson from the shotgun, flips it out there, and the catch is made by Aaron LeSueur, and he has a big gainer across the 40 and up near midfield. So LeSueur goes for 30 yards. The walk-on from Fallon, Nevada, 2 years at Dixie Junior College, just the second catch of the year and a big one. Elamimian on the tackle.
Just an easy throw to the outside, low snap, and Riley comes up with the throw and delivers a good throw to the outside, and that's what this Utah State team needs, some early success here in the second half. Try to get a little bit of confidence going. I mean, it's 28-3. We're talking about Hawaii, but this Utah State team, they can still be in this game with a score right here.
Nelson, you see, is spread it around a little bit, throwing the football. He'll keep it on the draw inside the 45, head-to-head collision, and he breaks free, never went down, and he's going to go for the touchdown. His knee never touched the ground, and he takes it 50 yards, and the Aggies are on the board again.
Boy, what a heads-up play by Riley Nelson. This Hawaii team initially made that contact, and he kind of just rolled off of the top of them, and they never blew the whistle. Great play instincts by Riley Nelson to continue doing here. You never hear a whistle. You see him running the draw. He steps up, gets tackled, and just stays on top of the defenders and keeps driving his legs, was never down. Great call or non-call by the officials, and Riley Nelson takes it all the way.
Everybody's standing around, and Nelson with his first rushing touchdown. And now before the snap on the PAT, there's a flag. It's under review. They're going to review this one. Did the knee touch the ground? So we'll take a long look here at this one. If it stands, it goes as a 50-yard touchdown run for Nelson. When the Aggies, the way it's been this year, they need a break to go their way. They've had it's been tough sledding most of the year.
Yeah, it has. And you go in the locker room, you try to regroup and get your guys going. It's still 28-3, and they have an opportunity. So you know that Utah State's going to go in the locker room and try to get mentally prepared for the second half. The thing you wonder about is how is a Hawaii team that comes here and has to play in the cool weather, how are they going to react coming out? As we take a look at this again, we'll see if he's down. But when we originally looked at it, it looked like his knee was never down.
It may have touched there.
Yeah, difficult to see, but if it didn't, it was a headsy play. It was heads-up play by Nelson, regardless if he was down or not. And the whistles don't. If the whistle doesn't blow, you want to keep going.
You can't see much from that angle. The previous angle, though, it appeared the left knee was down. Alama Francis was in trying to bring him down, and he spun away from the senior and took it the distance. So Utah State hoping for a spark here from their freshman quarterback.
I was talking about halftime and how guys come out at the half and 28-3 lead by Hawaii. You just wonder with the cold weather, it's easy to come out at the beginning of a ball game with all the enthusiasm and everything that's going on.
Yeah.
It's you go back into the warm locker room at halftime. How do you react coming out when there's no are you motivated because you have the big lead?
Here's another look. Is the left knee down? That is the question. It's hard to tell from that angle, but the previous shot, I think from the end zone, here it is the left knee down right here? Right there.
Yeah, it's
hard to tell. Here we go.
The runner's knee was down at the 43. Second down and 3 at the 43.
So they take away the touchdown run. Tough break for the Aggies.
Now you mentioned this Utah State team needs a break, and unfortunately they get that call overturned, and now they've got to get down there and put a drive together, and they just got to think positive about this, and nothing's bad's happened to them. Only something good happened on that play. So
you mentioned a pretty good play by the quarterback just to keep the legs churning.
And that's why they like him. He's kind of a never-give-up guy, and you could see in that first half, as much as the pounding he took, never gave up, kept getting up after being hit, and that's what they expect from him to continue to do for 4 years.
His dad played football at Utah State, grandfather, a hoops coach and AD at Utah State. On second and short now. Again, the quarterback draw. Nelson fighting forward, and he's close to a first down inside the 40. That's the best offense right there. Malila Purcell, the senior from American Samoa, on the tackle.
Well, if you've had some success, then we want to go right back to it. And Riley Nelson's the guy that's really led it. So go back to it and see if you can't pick up the first down, and they do.
Nelson again will go on a 2-year LDS mission. And then you hope he's more mature. But Brent Guy said the negative is you lose you don't get the contact. You're not playing football for a couple years. You need to find that energy again. Here's a swing pass caught by McDaniel, 35, 30, and Antron McDaniel spins down to the Hawaii 26-yard line. Pickup of 13 and a first down.
Good call by offensive coordinator Greg Stevens in that situation. You expect Hawaii to start coming after you a little bit with their aggressive defense, and a screen can slow some things down. Nice catch by McDaniels out there, handling that with one hand, and get some good blocks by his offensive linemen out there, and they continue to move the chains.
Elimimian and Leonard, the two inside linebackers, combine on that stop. First down at the 25-yard line for Utah State. Just underway third quarter. Hawaii in control, up 28-3. And movement, and it appeared that Sean Murphy, the left tackle, jumped the gun on that one.
Yeah, Sean Murphy.
Before the ball can be snapped, ball start, number 74, offense. 5-yard penalty, first down.
And we don't mention the offensive line very much until actually they mess up on that. But Sean's actually the son of the former major leaguer Dale Murphy. And, hate to mention their name in that situation, but, this offensive line has come out here in the second half so far and kind of opened up some things for Riley Nelson. They need to continue doing so.
They've had a bunch of injuries on that line. Jorgensen and Ginn have been beat up. Murphy has stayed relatively injury-free. On first down and long, the pass by Nelson, caught by LeSway, goes up to get it, has a first down inside the 10, and it'll be first and goal for Utah State. LeSway, 2 big catches on that far sideline, and the Aggies are knocking on the door. Peters on the tackle.
Yeah, this Utah State team has been able to go up and make a couple great catches here with some close coverage on it, but they don't go down. They continue to keep their legs churning, trying to move down there and get some extra yardage. A lot of credit to these guys. They're catching the ball in their hands in coverage. So Hawaii's defense is doing a good job of coming up on them, but they're making the plays.
Jimmy Bohm at fullback, Antron McDaniel at tailback in the I. First down from the 5-yard line. Bowman and Robinson, the receivers, to the bottom of the screen. Option. Pitch. McDaniel has room to run. Tries to get to the corner, and he's knocked out of bounds just shy. Good job by Hawaii stretching that play out at the last minute. Gerard Lewis, the junior corner from Houston over there. And it'll be second down coming up.
And you also saw the speed of Adam Leonard. We've mentioned his name an awful lot in the first half, and he's got great speed as you see him come from the inside here, trying to extend this to the outside, and he's got help. He was able to, looks like he was able to prevent that, but the running back, he tries to reach in as much as he can, sticks his foot in, but it's not the foot, it's the ball crossing the goal line, so you need to extend the ball out.
That was Newberry that hit him initially. Second and goal outside the 1 for the Aggies. Handoff McDaniel, straight ahead between the tackles, driving for the goal line. No indication yet. He's in. Touchdown. So Utah State gets it into the end zone here with 12:28 to go, third quarter for McDaniel, his second rushing touchdown this year.
Yeah, aggressive offensive line going after him here. Utah State could have been depressed after that was called back, but a lot of credit to them for continuing the drive after that touchdown was called back, and that maybe give them a lot of confidence here to start this second half.
Shields for the extra point. That was partially deflected, but still gets through there, and he remains perfect on PATs, 8 for 8 on the year. So the Aggies, something to hang their hat on here in the third quarter. They get a touchdown drive, a run for a score by McDaniel. It's now 28-10.
The Paris Sunday.
Georgia native Antron McDaniel with a 1-yard touchdown run. Utah State closes the gap a little bit, down 28-10 to Hawaii here in the third quarter. That was an impressive drive, John. 80 yards, and they mixed it up.
Yeah, they sure did. They had some unfortunate circumstances when that was called back, but this offense continued to go out there and do well. And when that was called back, they could have been a big letdown on the sideline. So a lot of credit to that offensive line for continuing that drive.
Shields with the kickoff. It's a short kick, fielded by Malcolm Lane, and across the 25-yard line. Hawaii will start at the 28. Actually, that was Chad Mock. Clay Swan, or Josh Anderson was down there on the stop for the Aggies on special teams. So Hawaii will go to work, and up 28-10. They had to be pleased with their first half. Colt Brennan has had some big numbers leading into this one. He's taken care of the football. He's thrown 5 touchdown passes over 5 of the last 6 games. The numbers thus far, as you see what he's done over the last 175 pass attempts, very impressive. The numbers thus far, only 10 completions in this game. And there's number 11, Ilawa, up the middle, and he has room to run into Aggies territory. 30, Ilawa to the 20, and tackled from behind and dropped at the 10-yard line. Tackle made by Dervin Spite. It looked like Ilawa was going to go all the way.
Again, about a 4-yard pass and a 60-yard run, and this Hawaii team, boy, when you have somebody that big, just why not do this? I mean, that's why you average about 75% completion percentage, and have all those yards passing. Just give it into the playmaker's hands. Now, don't take me wrong. Colt Brennan can throw the football, and he can throw it up the field if he needs to. But if you don't have to, why not? Just put yourself and your team in a situation, not to turn the ball over.
That was a 60-yard run, and that was Antonio Taylor, the strong safety that finally got him. He changed his number from 24 to 21 before the start of this one. Brennan now looking for the end zone. Throws. Best has it. Touchdown Hawaii. And that is 5 touchdown passes for Brennan, and that ties the school record for touchdown passes in a season. 38 now for the year for the junior.
Wow, Hawaii had them set up here. The corner just bites up on the outside receiver, and when he does that, the inside receiver just runs a corner route, and that's why Colt Brennan is so good. He just really quick release, just gets it to the outside and gets it in his hands of Devon Bess, and that's why he's got all these touchdown passes. You just react to a defense and just get rid of it quickly.
And Kelly tacks on the extra point to make it 35-10. Well, you get an 80-play drive from Utah State, time-consuming, blue-collar, and then Hawaii turns around and they come right back at you and they find the end zone. That's why this team is so good. They're up by 25. June Jones' team in control, up 35-10 here third quarter. Nate Ilawa, the senior running back for the Warriors, 2 60-yard catches, one for a score, and then one on the last drive.
Call them catches, call it a pitch, call it what you want. You just, he's got great ability. Get the ball in his hands, and as a quarterback, you just sit back there and kind of toss it forward. And I'd take that all day as a quarterback, just racking up those yards. All you have to do is really just kind of chase the running back down the field and get back in the huddle again and call the same play.
Brennan now is 277 yards, 5 touchdowns. There's Ilawa's all-purpose yards, and he's third in the WAC for the season. So he's eclipsed his average, and we're still early third quarter. Kelly to kick it away for the Warriors. Trying to lock up a bowl berth with a win here as he kicks it past Robinson again, and the Aggies will start from the 20-yard line. Well, this is a team that is so fun to watch. It helps when you have a big 254-pound running back. It's not just finesse. I mean, this guy can run some people over.
He's got the power and the strength. I mean, there's only so much you can say about the guy that's got that much ability. It's just impressive with the speed he has, with that size, and you can see him playing on Sundays as well.
I heard a comparison to Chris Fuamatu-Ma'afala, who went on to the NFL at the University of Utah. Says he's not quite as big as Chris was, but just as impressive from the standpoint up here. Riley Nelson goes to work for the Aggies. McDaniel out of the backfield, and that is incomplete. Well, from a Utah State standpoint here, you're just looking for some little successes here. I just hope they can put another drive together like the last one.
Yeah, you don't want to lose your team in this situation. You get a nice drive offensively going down there and score, and then your defense gives it up quick. You start to believe on the side, what's the offense thinking? We're never going to be able to catch these guys up, but Coach Brent Guy's got to keep his team together here, keep this offense focused, and just do the best you can and try to build on these things.
2nd and 10 for Riley Nelson. He's called his number a lot, calls it again, straight ahead, moving the pile up to the 24-yard line, setting up a third down. Purcell Lafayette, the defensive tackle, is in there. Nelson comes from a football family mentioned before. Very bright kid. Mr. Football in the state of Utah. Dad played football at Utah State. His grandfather, the basketball coach for the Aggies, and also athletic director. And his numbers have been pretty good. And look how he's spread the ball around. John, 6 receivers thus far.
We say got to give him a lot of credit for standing in there and doing what he's doing. He continues to throw it and making plays just like he did there.
And that's a big play by Omar Sawyer. Their speedster hauls it in at the 46-yard line to move the chains, but hold on. There's a flag. It is roughing the passer. So they rough up Nelson after the play, and they'll tack on the yardage after the catch.
Well, Nelson's been taking the roughing all day, but it's all been legal there. They just got him a little bit late. He delivers a nice throw on the corner pass, and we talk about that rush being in his face, but he steps up and delivers a nice throw to the outside.
Sawyer, freshman from Ogden, Utah. Tremendous upside, they believe. When you have the blazing speed, he's not big at 5'9", but he can really run. This time he'll be split to one side as they go quick snap, reverse. It's into the hands of Robinson's trying to make something happen. Kevin Robinson to the far side of the field, the 35, and knocked down at the 34. Patek, the safety, was over there, and they hold him to a 5-yard gain, and that could have gone for a big one. Pretty good drive, last drive for this Aggies offense.
Yeah, they were productive, just mixing it up, getting the throws to the outside, and running the quarterback jaw. If you can spread them out a little bit and run that quarterback jaw, and then when it's not working, get the throws to the outside, and then that time they come out of the huddle, try to run it quick, and try to run a trick play on this Hawaii team and get a quick score.
2nd down and 5 from the 34. Nelson quarterback draw. Fumbles the football. That is loose, and Hawaii appears to have it. That appeared to come out cleanly, and the Warriors have the football, recovered by Adam Leonard. And it continues. The third forced turnover tonight, and they forced 16 in the last 5 games.
Wow, that time you just wonder, Riley Nelson, how much can you take? How much can the body take? And you've been running the football and just trying to keep your team in there offensively. Just a matter of time, as much as he's been pounded on that sideline, when you're going to start turning the ball over or giving it up. And as an aggressive defense as this Hawaii team has, you just know it's inevitable that that's going to happen.
Well, Jerry Glanville has him going on that side of the ball, don't they, on defense? He, of course, the great experience in the NFL, and has found a home with June Jones at the University of Hawaii. First down from the 32 for Brennan now. In the flat, catch made by Dickerson across the 40. Has a first down, and he's up close to midfield as he's finally tackled by the safety on the play. That's Caleb Taylor, the sophomore. 18 yards right there.
Yeah, Xavier Bowman, another guy they're mixing in here, a freshman, giving them a lot of experience, and you'll see them go to these young receivers. They're not afraid to throw it to these guys. They got a nice mix of juniors, seniors, freshmen, so they got a good mix to learn from. And as these freshmen see these older players have so much success, boy, it just builds for them.
Here's a look at Coach Glanville, and look what they've done the last 5 games. After a tough start, the losses to Alabama and Boise State, I mentioned earlier, costly in terms of turning the ball over.
Earlier in the year, you're playing against the Alabamas in the world. You're trying to force turnovers. You're not getting them. You get into the WAC conference, some other things. You can start building up on those statistics a little bit. But this defense, it's how are you doing? Are you climbing that ladder? And they're getting more and more successful week in and week out, and the confidence continues to build for this Hawaii team.
And they shut out Idaho in their last game, holding the Vandals to only 133 yards of offense. So clearly they're playing their best football. Now a penalty is tacked on against Utah State after the play. Personal foul variety. So that moves it 15 yards down to the 35-yard line on Derek Cumbie, the middle linebacker. He's the guilty party. June Jones. Ask him about, from a personal standpoint, he has to be having a good time. But this has really become home. It is his program. He's really put the stamp on it.
Yeah, we talked about Jerry Glanville being there with them, and Mouse Davis, a guy that we haven't mentioned yet that's a running back coach for them. These guys have been together before, and he said that they're having more fun now, and winning will do that.
Yeah.
You'll have a little bit more fun that way, but he's saying that they've had more fun now than they ever had in coaching.
We understand Cumbie has been ejected, so the guy they just gave the personal foul penalty to, Derek Cumbie, the starting middle linebacker, has been ejected for the game for Utah State. Brennan to throw, sips one, caught by Lane to the 25, Lane to the 20, and he's finally tackled from behind by James Brindley, the freshman, at the 17-yard line. And here's another guy that's a part of their offense, Malcolm Lane, second catch of the year, the freshman from Fort Lauderdale.
Yeah, another freshman too. Every receiver they have, they just don't want to go down. They refuse to go down, and it's run after the catch, or that rack yards they talk about all the time. And that was the thing that Utah State's defensive coaches were worried about going in. They said they're good at catching the football, but they can really run afterwards.
He had a 58-yard catch, and now has another nice gainer inside the 20-yard line for the Warriors at the 18 now. 4 receivers, and Reagan Maia now in at running back. Brennan looking to throw, has time, fires back in the end zone, caught by Grice-Mullens, touchdown Hawaii, and make it 6 touchdown strikes for Colt Brennan, and that is a season high, and they extend their lead.
Well, we've talked about his little shovel passes on how he shovels it to the running backs, but here's a good example of how he kind of just shuffles his feet out to the left. Nobody's open. He finds a guy and then just delivers a strike. He didn't have to drill that in there. The guy was open, so he just kind of tossed it in there and makes it and delivers a nice throw. And that's what June Jones says, is he's just so accurate even when he's moving his feet.
That's the second catch for a score for Grice-Mullens. And Kelly's extra point is through there. 7:45 to go, third quarter. Warriors in front of the Aggies, 42-10. All kinds of time for the junior from Irvine, California. He spots the open man. Touchdown, Warriors. The Warriors up 42-10. Ryan Grice-Mullens, his second touchdown pass or catch from Colt Brennan, who now has 6 touchdown passes. Season high for him, but more importantly, he is now the single season record holder, 39 touchdown strikes this year. And remember, he's only been picked 5 times.
Yeah, you can say that, it's an offense designed for that, but he's as accurate as anybody.
And Timmy Chang, the guy he's trying to chase in so many categories. Chang will go down as one of the greats and maybe the greatest, but Brennan's starting to give him a run for his money. 12,000 yards passing, or 17,000, I should say, passing, and number one in all those categories. And look at the touchdown passes at the bottom.
Yeah, it's an amazing thing. And, when you look about all those statistics, he's had only 4 career games with 5 TD passes. And when you take a look at what Colt Brennan's doing this year, he's already beaten that record.
And there's another big kickoff, big leg from Dan Kelly, as Robinson won't be able to return it, and the Aggies will start at the 20-yard line. So Brennan, the school record holder, and keep in mind now with those 6 touchdown passes, he's now 15 shy of the NCAA record for touchdown passes held by David Klingler. Nelson, meanwhile, trying to find one of those drives. They've had a couple of them, but the way the Hawaii offense has put numbers on the board, they just need to worry about keeping the football at this juncture.
Yeah, and the hard part about this is this Hawaii defense knows that Utah State has to throw the football. And, when you get in that situation, it becomes dangerous for the quarterback and just real difficult to be able to block these guys.
And off to Antron McDaniel, driving between the tackles for a couple yards as he's pushed backward. We've seen McDaniel most of this half and second quarter. Lawrence Wilson, the senior from Honolulu, on the tackle. And this Hawaii team getting some fresh bodies out there as well. They've rotated a lot of people on that defensive front.
They have, and their schedule as we continue to move on through the year, they've got some difficult ball games coming up, and they're starting to get some recognition in the top 25 voting. So they need to mix some guys in, try to get some as much playing time as they can for guys.
Nelson on 2nd and 6, pressure coming, and he just throws it out of bounds. 3 Warriors after him. It appeared one of the Warriors are slow getting up now. That's Malila Purcell, the senior. He leads the defensive line in tackles, and they can ill afford to lose this guy.
Now, we've mentioned his name an awful lot at 6'5", 276. He's the guy that the NFL wants, and that's exactly why we talk about mixing in different players and try to give these guys a break.
John, let's look at the rest of the road for Hawaii. They are at home, so right away, no more cold weather to deal with. That game against Oregon State looms large. That's a good Beavers football team.
Yeah, it certainly is, and they're going to be challenged. But that's exactly what they're looking forward to, is playing some teams that are up there that have played some big boys, and the wins that they can get against those guys can help move them up in the polls, and that's what they'd like to see.
Jack Bicknell's team and then Dick Tomey's San Jose State squad makes the visit to the island, where Tomey used to be coach at Hawaii. But this could go down as the greatest season in Hawaii history should they win the remaining games and then the bowl game.
And everybody you talk to, says that this is a pretty special team, and even the bowl directors that you were talking about said they've been around this Hawaii team for a long time, but never really seen anything like this. And I know right now, as you look at these players, they have a big concern about their teammate that's down on the ground.
Here's another look here, and that was actually Iraqi Saveanaya, the freshman from Oahu, that was injured. Purcell was over there on the play, but Saveanaya, related to Dan Saliamua, the great Kansas City Chief, and he played. He's playing as a freshman, 315-pounder.
And Jerry, one of the things you notice too is a lot of these Hawaii players are around the guy that's injured on the field, and when you do that, it just kind of shows the respect that these players have for each other and what they're doing, and why they're such a good unit, both offensively and defense. It's not offense and defense. This is a whole team, this Hawaii team.
And Saveanaya up now, and they'll try to help him off to the near sideline. They have already come in short-handed. Reynolds Fruin, senior end, and Kayala Watson, a sophomore defensive end, injured and did not make the trip. So Jerry Glanville, they've got a lot of depth at that position, but he always says you can never have enough defensive linemen.
Yeah, and no team in the country will ever tell you that they have enough at that position, and when you're recruiting, it's one of the most difficult.
And now a big play now to the far side of the field for Antron McDaniel, and he picks up a first down and a quick snap on a 3rd down as Blaze Soares was in on the tackle, and the Aggies will move the chains.
Well, Utah State trying to pull out the tricks there as Hawaii had an injury outside of the field. The offense huddled up on the numbers on that side. Somebody just ran over and flipped it to the back and picked up some pretty good yards. I don't know how happy Hawaii is going to be about them running a trick play after an injury like that.
Caught a lot of people napping, but McDaniel moves the chains now from the gun. Nelson looking to throw. Over the middle with it, and it's intercepted. It's picked up by Ryan Keomaka, the junior, and he's into Aggies territory and out of bounds at the 32-yard line. Keomaka, his second pick, his other interception this year, returned for a touchdown against Idaho. And that's 4 forced turnovers.
Yeah, it is. And you're getting pressure in the face. You can see here he drops back. Initially, the offensive line does a pretty good job. Everybody was pretty well covered, didn't have anywhere to throw the football. In that case, if you got a post and there's a free safety underneath it, you just got to kind of throw it over the top and get rid of it. And he really tried to force that one in there, and that was an uncalled for throw for Nelson.
So again, the turnovers produced by the defense have been impressive. Now first down at the 31-yard line for Colt Brennan and the Warriors, trying to add to their 32-point lead. Handoff Ilawa, hit, and he's knocked down. Ben Childs, a defensive tackle, with a nice play. The 264-pound junior from Spring, Texas, was there to meet him in the hole.
And you wonder when this Hawaii team's going to kind of just go to your more traditional running game and do some things to kind of chew up the clock a little bit, but this team's not built that way.
Not traditional for them, huh?
No, the run and shoot's designed, where you're not in a traditional type of offense. So, some teams will say they run up scores on people, but that's just the way this offense runs.
Ryan Grice-Mullen in motion. Single back remains Ilawa. Brennan, plenty of time. Now a little pressure coming. Now he throws. Best tips it, and it's incomplete. Couldn't come up with it. Drew Pearson on the coverage from his cornerback spot.
Good job defensively for Utah State. Offensive line for Hawaii giving Colt Brennan plenty of time, and we talked about, that's one of the things that this offense has done for Hawaii is they've created a bunch of offensive linemen in the NFL. I think they've got 8 linemen over the last 5 to 6 years in the NFL, and we asked Coach Jones about guys in the run and shoot type offense. He says it's because they're more aggressive. They like to go out and attack people when they're blocking, and NFL scouts know that they're good pass blockers when they come out of Hawaii.
Uparesa and Esero, the tackles. He feels they're NFL bound, and Samson Satili, the leader, likely to play on Sundays as well at the center spot. Third down and 10. Rolling right, Brennan. Motioning, throwing over the middle, incomplete. He had Bess open and missed him. Trying to make a sliding catch inside the 20-yard line. Now an Aggie has lost his helmet at the 35. That's Frank Miley, the Sandy, Utah product. And fourth down coming up. So fourth down from the 32, and Brennan's going to stay out there. Fourth and 11 for the Warriors. Already up 42-10. Reagan Maia in at the running back spot. Pressure coming. Igboli from the backside throws, and it's intercepted. It's picked off by Terrence Washington, the free safety, but credit Igboli with the pressure forcing that quick throw, and Brennan's down.
Well, Utah State came off of the outside to the backside of Brennan. He saw him coming, tried to deliver that throw, but Utah State player got right to him in time just as he was delivering the throw. I don't know if he banged his hand on the helmet or if he hit it coming down, but he comes up lame, and Utah State does a nice job of getting to the quarterback that time, and he gets hit from the backside. You just wonder where he hurt his hand.
Igboli had a big play a couple weeks ago at Louisiana Tech, forcing a fumble that was returned for a touchdown. Comes in here and hammers Brennan, who appears to be okay. And there it is. The streak has been broken. And credit that Aggies pass rush for that. Good play.
And that's the reason why he hasn't thrown that many interceptions, because the offensive line have done a great job, and he recognizes when blitzes are coming, but they had fourth and long, and he had to take the time to get back there and throw the football, and he didn't have enough time to get rid of it that time.
Pushing 4 minutes to go, and the Aggies trying to get something going offensively now. Nelson, sideline, catch made by Sawyer, and he's knocked out of bounds at the 32-yard line. 5 yards on that pickup. Nelson appears to be comfortable with the short patterns as Guyton Galdera knocked him out of bounds, but remember, we still have to remember he's just a freshman. He makes some nice plays, but it's not too complex for him out there.
No, and a lot of times as a quarterback, when you've been getting his hit as much as he has, you be comfortable getting rid of the ball quick, and if that means short passes, that's what it means. But this Utah State team is going to have to find a way to get up top and try to score quickly on Hawaii.
And now a penalty flag comes in. Did they get the snap off in time? The clock was at 2 on the play clock.
6 offense, 5-yard penalty, second down.
That was motion on Kevin Robinson. No, it was Malik Chin, I'm sorry, the offensive lineman. Well, Cole Brennan, hard to fault much of what he's done. Picked off, but 6 touchdown passes today.
Yeah, and you look at him, and looks like his hand's okay on the side. He's got a smile on his face, and throwing 6 touchdown passes will cause that smile on the side of the face. But I know the Hawaii people, Hawaii fans are looking at him when he was getting up slow and holding their breath and making sure that he gets up and he's okay.
Second down and 9 yards to go. Nelson flushed out of the pocket, fires in the flat. Catch made by Robinson, and he's tackled right there. Didn't move any farther. Ryan Keomaka, the junior, stayed with him. Third down coming up. Look at the hair there from Keomaka. Like that?
Keomaka does a nice job of coming up here and making a tackle in the open field and letting that hair fly all over the place. But you can see the arm strength that Riley Nelson possesses. The big question is, did he have that strength in the arm at 6'1" and 196 pounds? But he certainly has the arm strength.
Third down and 4 at the 33 for the Aggies. Nelson trying to keep the drive going. Backside pressure is going to scramble with it. He has a first down and runs out of bounds across the 40-yard line. Stiff-arming C.J. Allen-Jones on that play. You don't want to take away this kid's ability in the open field. I mean, this is where they're moving the football.
Now, a good decision by Riley Nelson, the freshman. Goes back there, nobody's open in that situation. Use your ability that you have, and he's a good running quarterback. And we've said it a few times already tonight. That's what they didn't expect him to have, but he's really possessed that and shown a lot of these fans here that he can run the football at this level.
That guy's team now with a fresh set of downs to the 40, rolling left this time. Nelson throws in the flat, incomplete. Robinson was over there. Also Sawyer threw it right between the two. Let's look at Omar Sawyer from nearby Ogden, just south down the interstate. He mentioned that there may be 10 kids, maybe a dozen kids in Utah he can go get, but you really have to focus your recruiting efforts in the big states like California and Texas.
Yeah, and he said he's been a Texas guy, and that's where he needs to go.
Let's look at the total yardage. They've moved the football in this second half, the touchdown drive. A field goal, and that was it in the first half. Handoff McDaniel, and tough yardage off right tackle, maybe 3 yards up to the 43-yard line. Approaching 3 minutes to go, third quarter. 42-10, Hawaii in front as they have dominated really from the outset. That touchdown drive and the Brennan touchdown pass, that really set the tone as he hooked up with Grice-Mullens early in the game.
Yeah, keys going into this game for Utah State was really kind of possess the football. They held the ball for 20 minutes of that first half, but when Hawaii scores as quick as they do, you can really, I guess, throw the ball control out the window. And the other thing was have some confidence on some things early and have some early success. And defensively, they didn't have it. Offensively, they were able to score some.
From the gun on 3rd and 7, Nelson going deep with this one, and the receiver goes down. Kevin Robinson bumped. No flag. Coverage back there by Guyton Galdera, and they'll have to punt the football.
Yeah, Kevin Robinson doing the indication like he's pulling the flag out of his back pocket, wanting to get that call. I'm not sure if he was tripped up or he actually got tangled up with his own feet.
Take another look here.
Delivers a nice throw here. Looks like he just kind of tripped over his own foot there, and Turf Monster came up and got him. And when you do that, you want to right away indicate that the guy touched you a little bit. Try to draw a flag and see if you can't act a little bit.
Leon Jackson with a nice punt, hangs it up there. Myron Newberry across the 20, and he has some room. Jackson to beat. Flag is down though. It may come back inside the 35. Newberry inside the 15, and finally tackled from behind down near the 10. But it appears as this one's coming back. There's a flag resting on the other side of the field inside the 25-yard line. Big return by Myron Newberry, the junior.
Yeah, well, why not? The defense have been a part of this game, and this offense has scored so many points. Why not have the special team come in there and contribute too?
Newberry, who doubles as their corner.
During the return, holding, number 19 of the receiving team. 10-yard penalty. First down.
Robert Cameron, the lead referee, with the call there. It's coming all the way back.
You can see number 19 coming up here on the right side of your screen. You can see him kind of falling down and trying to grab the guy, but tough call on him right there. But trying to do everything you can to be able to break your receiver. Sometimes you just get caught on some things. You could probably call holding, on most plays out there, especially on the return. But unfortunately for Hawaii, that one's called back.
You know what's tough there? That was C.J. Hawthorne, his running mate at cornerback. So I'm sure he has a lot to say to him next time they take the ball on the defensive side.
They'll have fun in the film room taking a look at that and saying, why'd you do that to me?
Well, and they'll definitely have fun because they're going to win this football game, it appears, up 42-10 from the 14-yard line. Little shovel pass. It's Lawa, and he has room to roam. He's to the 30. Can't break that tackle, and he's knocked down to the 35-yard line, or he could have ripped that one off for big yardage. Terrence Washington, maybe a touchdown-saving tackle. Still a big pickup.
Well, same play, different time, different part of the field. Just shovel pass to the inside and good footwork. And as he gets up through there, once he breaks through, he just uses his power and speed.
And again, that's a pass completion, so 330 yards now for Brennan to go with the 6 touchdowns. First down at the 35. Still a minute plus remaining here, third quarter. Brennan trying to add those numbers, setting up the screen, caught by Maia, and he's tackled from behind. Nice play by John Overton, the freshman who's from Honolulu. This game meant a lot to him. He wanted to play well. He was voted Hawaii Defensive Player of the Year. And a man of few words according to the coaches, but Overton wanted to play well, was offered a Hawaii scholarship, and they said they wanted to gray shirt him. He said no.
Yeah,
I'll go to Utah State.
And the question, when you asked him yesterday about him, was he excited about playing in this ball game? All they could say is, yeah, we think he's pretty excited about it. He's just a quiet guy and doesn't say anything. But they were sure he was pretty pumped up about playing against Hawaii.
Two-time All-State player out of Honolulu. Here's a pass, and it's knocked down at the line of scrimmage. And first time they've done that. And Colt Brennan could not complete it. Nice play that time by Carl Singleton. Came up there to knock it down.
When you're watching Colt Brennan play, anytime there's an incomplete pass, you can see him shaking his head. It's like when you're completing 75%, he just it gets depressed whenever there's a ball that hits the ground, and that's tough to do, is complete 75% of your passes, even if you're just in pass scaling and you're doing 7-on-7.
He's 17 of 28 through the air in this one. 3rd and 8 from the 37. Pressure coming. Brennan going deep. Has Grice-Mullens open. Catches it in stride. He's to the 20. Inside the 15. Dragging Brindley inside the 5. And they'll have a 1st and goal at the 3. Brennan to Grice-Mullens. Already has 2 touchdown catches and almost had his 3rd.
Well, you see those 2 receivers, they're close to each other, and they run a vertical where all 4 receivers go deep, and the quarterback has the opportunity to pick one or the other. This time he goes to the outside guy. The receiver on the inside actually lets this ball go. He actually doesn't come after it, and these receivers, once they catch it, former tailbacks, they do not want to go down. They smell that goal line, and they just continue to drive those legs, turn the legs, and try to pick up the yardage.
413 yards through the air now for Colt Brennan. Yards after catch, quarterback's best friend? I guess so. They've had a bunch of them here tonight. Grice-Mullens split out with 3 receivers to the top of the screen. They'll run option, pitch to Ilawa. He takes it in. Nate Ilawa, and that'll go as a rushing touchdown, because that was a pitch backwards, but he finds the end zone again.
And for a running back, that's what you want. You down here on the goal line. You said, now I've taken all the forward pitches from you. Give me a back pitch and let me get a rushing touchdown in here. And you can see the smiles all over these Hawaii players' face on just a well-oiled machine right now for this Hawaii team offensively.
Iulawa's 9th rushing touchdown. In this game, he has 2 touchdown catches and a touchdown run, and it's 48-10. And now 49 on the board for the Warriors. What a game for the senior. And you can see why Coach June Jones is so excited about this Hawaii team. Best a touchdown grab, the defense impressive, and 49-10 the score.
The local
Hawaii averages 45 points on the season. They have 49. We still have a quarter to go here in Logan. Last touchdown, Iulawa finding it on the run for 6.
And nice to see him get in as a running back in the traditional way, just catching a pitch and getting inside.
Look at the yards per play and the 49 points, and they go down the field, they spread things out, and they keep you guessing, and they really protect the quarterback as well.
Yeah, you see that 0 sacks allowed. Coming into this ball game, they'd only given up 15 sacks out of 353 pass attempts. So we talk about and give credit to that offensive line. There's a statistic that just stands out.
Kelly's kick returned by Robinson across the 20, and he's tackled at the 22-yard line. A lot of work ahead for Utah State as C.J. Hawthorne comes in on that last tackle. And right now, with the game out of hand, you want to build the freshman's confidence. They still have a lot of football to play after this one.
And you have to be careful with him here, as I mentioned earlier, too. This Hawaii team knows that this Utah State team has to come back and throw the football, and it becomes a dangerous situation for a quarterback, and you don't want to see anything happen to anybody, but especially a freshman quarterback that has so much potential, and you want to get him some valuable experience.
Start this series from the 22-yard line. Antron McDaniel stays in at the tailback position. They'll run option. Nelson keeping it across the 30, and a nice gain to the 31. Pickup of 9 on that play. The Hawaii defense overshadowed by the Hawaii offense. Wait a minute, the ball came free, and there's the defense. We're just about to talk about it. They've recovered a fumble. The ball came free on the far side, and they've now forced 5 turnovers. Lawrence Wilson was in there to knock it free, and then it was recovered by Michael Malala.
Again, that's the quarterback, Riley Nelson trying to fight for some extra yards here. I was just going to say, this kid's not afraid of anything. He just sticks his head in there, and this Hawaii team is aggressive, just trying to rip the ball out. And once you get the taste of getting turnovers and forcing turnovers, you start tackling the football, you start ripping at the football, and it's easy to do when you have a big lead.
Boy, it's like wildfire right now. Everything they're doing on both sides of the ball coming up golden for the Warriors. And now Tyler Grocke, the Tucson product, is in at quarterback. He throws downfield and incomplete. Intended for Michael Washington, the sophomore slot receiver. Brindley was back there on coverage, but they have made the switch at quarterback now. And this guy is not too shabby in a backup role. Grocke, a sophomore from Tucson. He's completed 23 of 30 on the year.
Yeah, and as a backup quarterback, you wonder how in the world do you come in a ball game when you get that big of a lead and you're in the run and shoot offense? How do you have the opportunity to throw the football when that score is like that? But that's what this offense does, and you can see that's why he completes almost 80% of his passes. He's got great accuracy as well.
Has a touchdown run, couple touchdown tosses, and the slot catch made by Rivers. Rivers inside the 20 and has a first down to the 15-yard line. Tackle made by Josh Taylor. Grocke's best game this year. He was 9 of 12, 164 yards and a touchdown against Idaho.
And he's a guy just kind of like out of a mold of watching him warm up before the ball game as they were going through everything they were doing out there. It's just like a machine what they do with their quarterbacks and the way they use their footwork to the way they throw the football. Both guys kind of just sling it from the side, and that's the coaches talking to him about the ability of getting rid of the ball quick.
Now this run and shoot system fits perfectly for Colt Brennan, and Grocke making it look good as well. A flag is thrown as he looks to throw over the middle and completes the pass. Hauled in by Chad Mock, the senior, for first down. Washington on the tackle, but there's a flag to sort out on the Hawaii side of the field.
How many times have we done that?
Well, you see Gronke there just kind of step up in the pocket, keep his eyes up the field, has nice footwork, and then just delivers an accurate.
Illegal formation on the offense, only 6 men on the line, 5-yard penalty, first down.
June Jones says, though, he can plug a quarterback into the system. He's going to make him better. You get a lot of opportunities to improve your delivery and those kind of things. You being a former quarterback, you could understand that, right?
Well, yeah, he said he takes you can take average quarterbacks and make them really good quarterbacks, but you get a really good quarterback like they have, and you can make them a great quarterback. And you can look and say, well, that's okay because it's the run and shoot. How many guys have been successful? Well, Jim Kelly was able to do it and stuff, and he thinks that these quarterbacks, Colt Brennan especially, is an NFL guy and can do it in the NFL one day, not just in the run and shoot.
Gronke going for the end zone, and that is out of bounds. Far side intended for Michael Washington to hold it in, but he did not get his feet in near the pylon. June Jones has coached some impressive ones. He says Brennan's the best he's ever coached. Well, look at these names. You mentioned Jim Kelly. How about Warren Moon with the Oilers? Jeff George, Rodney Pete. Unbelievable.
Yeah, and that specific question was asked about, that's the run and shoot, but can they play in the NFL? And he said, well, look at those guys. And they basically all have had great success.
And he expects Brennan to be playing in the NFL. Still has another year. Remember, only a junior. Gronke is sophomore in the game. Throwing for the end zone. Has a man. It's incomplete. And open was Chad Mock. And he couldn't haul it in.
And credit Utah State's defensive backs today. When they've been able to cover them or have been on them, they've been able to strip the ball out of their hands. The tough thing is the way Hawaii spreads the ball around and throws those bubble screens and the inside screens. It's a matter of staying on them. When the Utah State defenders had an opportunity to be on the receivers, they've done a nice job of breaking up passes.
3rd and 15 now facing Gronke and the Warriors from the Aggies' 21-yard line. Maia remains in the backfield, 4 receivers. Gronke setting up, firing over the middle, and it is hauled in for a first down. Catch made by Washington, and Terrence Washington on the tackle, but Michael Washington went low to get that one. And they'll have a 1st and goal. And he had all kinds of time to set his feet.
Yeah, he certainly did. And Michael Washington, only 2 catches coming into the year as a sophomore, or coming into this ball game. But he sees the defenders deep, and they'll teach these guys in the run and shoot. If you have a defender over the top, you just want to kind of break it off and curl it to the inside. And he just delivered a strike. And that's the difference. These guys start learning as the years go on. They get better and better.
Reagan Maia, the 296-pounder in the backfield. They're going to throw though. Gronke for the end zone. Rivers. He's in the corner. He's in. Touchdown, Hawaii. 7th touchdown pass of the game. 6 for Brennan, and the first one for Gronke as Rivers beat Josh Taylor to the corner, and they have eclipsed 50 points in this one.
Well, you can only say so much about these receivers and their ability to go up and catch the football, and they just make such good adjustments while the ball's in the air, and that's not an easy catch to make. You kind of a Willie Mays catch over the top, and it's not an easy thing to do to be able to do that, but these guys make it look easy.
The extra point from Kelly, who has been busy, is good, and it's 56-10. Jason Rivers, the junior from Oahu, the long frame at 6'2", makes it look easy. 56-10 Warriors. Six points on the board. The visitors from the Aloha State enjoying this one. Their Warriors in control here in Logan, Utah. Offense, plenty of it. Jason Rivers with a touchdown grab to extend the lead. And Colt Brennan's day is done. 6 TD strikes. But they bring in Tyler Gronke, the Tucson, Arizona product. The sophomore throws a touchdown pass. Hawaii honing in on a bowl berth. Sheraton Hawaii Bowl officials waiting to deliver the invitation at the end of this one. Kickoff by Kelly. It'll be Xavier Bowman. He's going to bring it out of there. coming across the 15 and down to the 17-yard line. Offense has been good, but how about the Hawaii defense? Maybe not getting the exposure they deserve. They've been flying around.
Yeah, we talked at the top of this game how confident they are both offensively and defensively, and you can see from defensive ends that have NFL potential to linebackers with great speed and defensive backs that can cover receivers. These guys have punished this Utah State team all day, and Riley Nelson's just been hammered time and time out. After the first half, you wouldn't know if he was going to come out for the second half, and Jerry Glanville really has these guys playing some great football.
We've seen what they've done in terms of forcing turnovers, and 28 points off turnovers tonight. Handoff McDaniel. He slants off the left side up to the 22-yard line for 4 yards. I think what impresses you about this team is, they have a count on the last tackle that they'll give up some yardage. They give up 24 points a game, but when you can make people turn the ball over and already set up a potent offense, that makes you that much more impressive.
Yeah, when you look at it, I think a lot of that was given up early in some of those games, and they've just gotten better and better, and that becomes contagious. Turnovers just start being contagious, and everybody wants to get a part of that.
Daniel straight ahead and appears to have a first down as the north-south runner gets it across the 28-yard line.
I like this Antron McDaniel, the way he runs the football. He's a guy who came in from junior college, but he's banged up in the ribs a little bit. But, boy, when he gets it in his hands, he runs hard, and it looks like he's got some pretty good speed, too.
Well, they'll have McDaniel back next year. Marcus Cross, both of them are juniors, that tailback spot. Kevin Robinson, their big play guy, a junior receiver. A young team, though they won't have Riley Nelson back next year. They're trying to recruit a junior college quarterback to take his place while he's away on his 2-year mission. Nelson wants to throw. It's McDaniel out of the backfield. He runs out of bounds at the 35-yard line.
And how difficult is that for Brent Guy? He has the successful guy in Riley Nelson. He's a freshman, and he wants to go. He's got to go away on his mission. And you think you want to build something. And we talk about rapport and how these receivers for Hawaii and their quarterback work together. Just when you're getting on the same page as somebody, and Riley's doing this year, you've got to leave. So that's a difficult thing for a quarterback and coach to be able to handle.
McDaniel looks like he has first down as he takes it to the 40. There are a bunch of schools that have to do that in the Western region. BYU almost exclusively missionary guys. Utah has to deal with it to a lesser extent, maybe Utah State, but Brent Guy knows that comes with the territory. It could be a positive if you get the kid a little bit more mature, a little bit bigger after a couple of years when he comes back.
And it's a whole different recruiting process. He mentioned he knew that was going to happen, and going into the ball games, that was what you're going to expect.
Look at Nevada in that wide open offense looking good at Idaho. So Jeff Rowe and company out to the 14-0 lead. Nelson wants McDaniel, and he short hops him there as he slid. Like he couldn't get his footing there near the midfield stripe.
And frustration on Riley Nelson's part. Receiver that time just kind of slid away from him, and he was looking to go to the center of the field, had a post pattern. Hawaii did a nice job of covering, and he came off his primary receiver to try to find somebody. His secondary receiver does a nice job, but he just weren't able to come up with that with the receiver falling down.
2nd and 10 now at the 40-yard line for the Southpaw. Nearby Logan High School. Handoff. And Bohm is shut down. 3 Warriors were there, and that swarmed to the football. And Peterson, the inside linebacker on the tackle, along with Ryan Keomaka, but that's something they really teach is swarming the ball. They have what's referred to as a big bag at practice to emphasize gang tackling. It's a big green bag that Jerry Glanville puts out there, and here's the gang tackling on display.
Yeah, gang tackle. You see a lot of white jerseys around the football, and coaches, and especially defensive coaches, will teach their players run to the football, and all of these guys run to the football.
And they're running after Nelson right now, who just has to heave it in desperation out of bounds, and that pressure was coming by Eric Peterson, and there's a flag, and this could be against the defense.
Intentional grounding. The ball did not cross the neutral zone. Lost it down at the spot of the pass. 4th down.
I thought they might get Peterson, but they get Nelson instead. So 4th down coming up.
He got outside and was able to do that, but he was running so hard you couldn't get the ball to the line of scrimmage. And unfortunately for Utah State, they're going to be backed up. You see him trying to fight to the outside, and then he's got to use all the strength he can to try to get the ball up to the line of scrimmage, and just wasn't able to do it.
So Leon Jackson called on again. inside his 10-yard line. Gets the punt away. It's a beauty. Spiraling kick. Newberry comes up on it. Hit right away at the 36, and the ball's free. Flag comes in, though. The flag comes in. It appears Utah State has it, but again, you're in that area. Which way is this one going to go?
I don't know if they're going to call this for getting there early, or they may have gotten a Hawaii player for holding here, because I don't think he got there too early.
15-yard penalty. First down.
And after seeing that, I know he didn't get there too early.
So the Warriors will keep it. 9:11 to go in this one. Big hit applied by Utah State's Ryan Higley. Warriors have the ball, though, up big. All of a sudden, it's wet in Logan, Utah, and Hawaii cruising 56-10. We're going to look at that last punt return here, John.
Yeah, taking a look at this, he's at least 3 yards away from the receiver, who never gave an indication of a fair catch, and you can see the referee looking right at it, reaches into his back pocket and calls interference. He didn't call anything illegal as far as hitting him with his head or anything like that. I think he just called that he interfered with him, didn't give him time to catch the football, but obviously on that look right there, that's not true.
Well, Newberry, the punt returner, and Ryan Higley, the freshman from Bountiful, Utah, given a personal foul penalty for that hit. But you've got to be impressed with Higley's stick there. It looked to be a good one. Colt Brennan, what a day on the other sideline for Hawaii. Didn't play a complete game, didn't need to. 6 touchdown tosses, found Grice-Mullens a couple times for scores. Had 1 interception, but another day at the office for Mr. Brennan.
Yeah, it sure is. You said not a complete day. It was a complete day of any snap that he was in there. He just didn't play the full 60 minutes, as you mentioned. But, boy, it was, we looked going into this game, look forward to seeing his abilities out there, and he didn't disappoint.
Hawaii single game record with the 6 touchdown strikes. Also, he is now he has a season record for touchdown passes at Hawaii with 39.
Hey, Leonard Peters.
In 1 year. Unbelievable. Just 6 interceptions to go with those 39 tosses. Now, with 9:11 to go in this one,
the play on the field is confirmed.
They are reviewing that last punt return tackle, and they're confirming it was a penalty on the guy that made the tackle, Ryan Higley. Here's another look.
I don't know what they're confirming unless he raised his hand for a fair catch. That can be the only thing that we didn't see for them calling. And if he did that, he had to do it real early where nobody would see it. So unfortunately for Utah State, it looked like a good play, and they had the turnover, and Hawaii ends up with the ball.
Looks like a pretty good tackle for the former Brave from Bountiful High School, a suburb of Salt Lake City just south of here. So at midfield now, Hawaii goes to work with Brocky and company. Hand off to Reagan Maia, running right, and tackled on a nice play. That was Darrell Fields, the linebacker that tracked him down. But Maia, you talk about Ilawa at 254, then you bring this guy in at 6', 296.
Yeah,
are you kidding me?
It's okay if you're a defensive lineman on the inside, but if you're a defensive back at 185 pounds, you were scared enough with the 254 coming at you, but not 296.
It's not even fair. I mean, you add another 40 pounds to the running back late in the game. He leans on you.
No, and if you go low and try to tackle him in the legs, his big legs could hit you in the helmet too. So look at him drive the football.
There he goes, moving the pile forward, close to a first down. Needs to get it to the 39. Carl Singleton, a 258-pound defensive tackle on the play. He gives away 40 pounds to make that tackle. So 3rd down and short coming up. There's Maia. He was born in American Samoa, 3 years at San Joaquin Delta Junior College, and from Stockton, California, a senior for the Warriors. He's also played some defensive line for this program as well. Had a start last year against Michigan State.
Why not? He weighs more than all the any defensive linemen that they have, and these guys are going to the NFL.
Gronke to throw on 3rd and 2. Wide open is Washington, and it's incomplete. He had some room to run, too. And 4th down coming up. Here's a look at Colt Brennan. We talked about the numbers, and look at the numbers this season. It's hard to top what he did last year, but he did.
And he still has games to play this year too. And the impressive thing is, the interception side of it. 13 last year. You would think, throwing the football as much as they do, balls would be tipped. But the accuracy that he has, he gives his receivers a chance to catch it. And tip balls come from throwing balls high, but he hits guys right in the chest.
So on 4th down and 2, the Warriors will go for it from the Aggies' 41-yard line. Gronke throws, catch made, first down grab is made, and they'll move the chains as they convert it. Aaron Bain hauls it in. Sophomore from Honolulu with his 7th catch of the year. Marquise Charles on the tackle.
You can just mix in, put anybody in the slot position, move them all in for this Hawaii team. Everybody gaining experience, and so many guys have contributed by catching the football. And you've just seen that tonight with the ability to kind of move the ball around. And even this Hawaii team on 4th down, they're not going to punt it. They're going to continue to try to drive the football.
Approaching the 7-minute mark in this one. Hawaii headed to a bowl game as they go a little shovel pass. It's Maia. He's inside the 20. The big 300-pounder inside the 5, and he's knocked down. First and goal from there. John Overton, the defensive end, finally tracks him down. And Maia with a big gainer. That's just his 4th catch of the year. He does have a touchdown reception this season.
And at the end of this run, Marquise Charles, you can see him fighting in the end zone, trying to fight off a block, and I just don't know how you have the guts to be able to go after a 296-pounder. You can see him at the end of this trying to fight off a tackle and trying to save a touchdown here, but that's you see him throwing a shoulder at him, and I don't know if that was a
good idea.
A good idea or not when 296 pounds coming at you.
Well, we talked about how they led the nation in total offense. There it is, and they have eclipsed that today on the road in the WAC. Gronke pitches it, and a touchdown. Taking it in for the Warriors is David Farmer, the sophomore from Santa Cruz, California, who also doubles as their short snapper. So he finds the end zone for the first time this year, and a tough day for Brent Guy and company.
Just a dangerous team, this Hawaii. Once they get down the goal line, they don't necessarily have to throw the football. They can run the option, and that's what they do. When they get down there, they like to just kind of get it to the big guys, run the quick option. Everything they do is quick, and if you watch them practice or anything else, they do things quick, and that makes it really tough on defenses.
Kelly for the point after touchdown, and he nails another one. He's been perfect in that category. David Farmer, his 5th carry of the season, and he takes this one into the end zone. And Hawaii extends their lead. The Warriors having a field day here in Utah, up 63-10. Hawaii on track to get their 6th straight victory as they lead big time at Utah State 63-10 as we approach the 6-minute mark here in this one. The rain starting to fall here in Logan, and the visitors from Hawaii have enjoyed it despite the chilly weather. Kevin Robinson returns the kick from Kelly across the 20, and then he spilled at the 23-yard line. Flag will come in late. And C.J. Hawthorne made the tackle. Holding, they're going to back him up. The question, and you can ask this with Boise State, and they have proven it year in, year out. How good is Hawaii? They're going to get a chance against Oregon State in the regular season finale. They're getting votes in the top 25 right now. They're fun to watch. They have as impressive an offense as anybody. They would, I'm sure, like to have a team in the Sheraton Hawaii Bowl that they can really make a statement against. Look at the point totals this season. It's just their 3rd best effort of the year.
Yeah, those are some amazing numbers, and that's the question out there. I mean, you get votes for the top 25. How good a team are they? Who are they going to play against? We'll see, and maybe that matchup will give us some indication.
Leon Jackson in the game at quarterback now as they hand it off to Ryan Bohm, the sophomore from Logan, who played with Riley Nelson in high school, and he goes for short yardage. Mentioned Boise State and how good they are. They're making a run to get a BCS bowl berth. They need to be in the top 12 to get there. And right now at 14, as you look at Boise State on top, Hawaii hoping they stumble so they can get a chance at a co-championship.
Yeah, they would love to have that, and would they love to have the first 3 or 4 weeks of the season over too. And the way they're playing right now, you can't blame them.
Pass incomplete, intended for Xavier Bowman. And Hawaii felt like, that 41-34 game was quite a shootout up in Boise. They had their chances to pull that one out.
Yeah, they did in that one as well at Alabama. The turnovers they had in that Alabama game early, and then a chance on the last play of the ball game coming up a little bit short. So they would certainly like to have those two back.
5:25 to go in this one. Leon Jackson, who doubles as their punter, was their starting quarterback at the beginning of the year, and incomplete, intended for Ryan Bohm in the flat. Jackson's a junior from Long Beach. Really had struggles turning the ball over early in the season. Nevada looking good. The Wolfpack up 21-zip early. That's a football team that last year won the Sheraton Hawaii Bowl, beating Central Florida in a shootout. Every game's a shootout in that bowl game.
They match up a Conference USA and a WAC team, and they're going to get some excitement.
Fair catch being called for, and it's made by C.J. Hawthorne at the 46. 5:09 to go in this one, and you want to stay tuned for the Sheraton Hawaii Bowl, December 24th. That's right, Christmas Eve, 3 p.m. Hawaii time on ESPN. For tickets, call 808-548-BOWL if you're in Hawaii, and 800-291-3999 outside Hawaii, or log on SheratonHawaiiBowl.com. That should be a fun event. Great weather, temperatures, I'm sure, in the 80s, sunshine, surf, all the kind of things that you love that time of year, and great football as well. Here's a handoff to David Farmer for the Warriors, and he takes it to the Aggies side of the field to the 49-yard line. New quarterback is in there now for Hawaii as they've gone to their third guy, Inoke Funaki, the freshman from Oahu, seeing some action.
Now the freshman trying to get some experience in here. Perfect time, late in the ball game, and you want to try to get as much as you can. Difficult time to do it coming in, with a 53-point lead. You don't want to throw the football and try to run things up, but Hawaii's going to run their offense and do what they can out of the shotgun.
Funaki of Tongan heritage chose Hawaii over BYU. And he is their holder, was redshirted last year, seen limited action at quarterback this year as they hand it off to Farmer, and he loses yardage. Frank Miley, the defensive tackle, on the play. It's a guy that started a couple games last year against USC and San Diego State. They love their quarterbacks, don't they?
Yeah, they do. And as a quarterback, you would love to go to Hawaii because it gives you an opportunity to throw the football. And how about from a receiver standpoint? If you want to go catch the football and put some numbers up, that's a place that you can go.
3.5 minutes to go. June Jones' team rolling. They appear to be peaking at the right time, offensively and the defensive side of the ball as well. On 3rd and 8 now. Funaki play action is going to keep it. And he's going to be short of the first down as he takes it down to the 46-yard line. Antonio Taylor over there on the play as we near the 3-minute mark. It's one of those tough situations, and Hawaii's been in a lot of them. You got a 4th down, you're up 63-10, but they'll probably just go for it here.
That's a difficult call. I mean, they haven't punted the football, or they're not going to punt the football very often. They went for it last time, and they're just, in this case, they're just kind of chewing up the clock a little bit. And but they're going to go it. That's what their offense is. That's what it's built around. And June Jones makes no mistake about it.
Farmer stays in the backfield next to Funaki, the freshman. On 4th and 3. Play action, fakes the handoff, keeps it. A flag is thrown. Funaki trying to work for that extra yard to move the chains, and it might come back anyway. Terrence Washington in on the tackle. It's getting a little bit colder as this game wears on. A little mist, a little rain.
Holding on the offense, number 73. 10-yard penalty, 4th down.
It's on Larry Saafea, a junior from American Samoa. Big 313-pounder, can't miss him. So 4th and 8 coming up. Looking forward to hearing from John Gregory on the field at the conclusion of this one, as Sheraton Hawaii Bowl officials are standing by. We expect him to hand out that invitation to Hawaii. as they're about to get their 7th win on the year and improve to 5-1 in the WAC. And with 4th down upcoming in 13, they're going to punt it away now. Clock running with 2 minutes to go in this one. 63 points. Again, the 68 is a season high. They did that twice. The win against Idaho, 68-10, and then at Fresno State, 68-37. The kick by Milne, returned by Robinson, and he's tackled, knocked out of bounds at the 24-yard line. C.J. Hawthorne on the coverage for the Warriors. It doesn't get any easier for Utah State. They have to go on the road at Nevada, then at Boise State, and then they get their season finale at home against New Mexico State. For the Warriors, back home for good. No more road games for this team, including the bowl game. They get Louisiana Tech at home, San Jose State, the Purdue Boilermakers come to the island, and then the Oregon State Beavers, and that should be quite a battle in that final regular season game.
Substitution infraction, breaking the huddle with 12. Offense, 5-yard penalty, 1st down.
So they'll back up the Aggies, who, again, will have Leon Jackson in at the quarterback position. Here's a look at that Aggie schedule, and it's tough. And this year, the WAC has been very good. Going head-to-head with the Mountain West Conference, they've won those battles, including Boise State's win over Utah. Boise State's beaten everybody they've played this year. Nevada's a very good football team, despite struggling compared to last year. And of course, you're seeing how good this Hawaii team is as well. David Veikune, the sophomore from Oahu, on that last tackle for the Warriors. 1 minute to go in this one. Utah State's going to fall to 1-8 and 1-4 in the WAC. Their big win this year at home here on this field against Fresno State as they pulled one out 13-12 on the final drive. Jackson, handoff straight ahead. That's Ryan Bohm. And the 2-time All-Stater out of Logan in high school. The short game. Rustin Seole, the junior linebacker, met him on the stop, and there is a Warrior down on the field at the 16-yard line. Already Rocky Savainaya injured, and now they're going to attend to another Hawaii player. It looks like Lapepe Latule, the freshman, is down, the defensive end. Now, he's a converted offensive lineman. He's played offensive guard for this team. But with all the injuries to their defensive front, Jerry Glanville requested that he come over from the offensive side of the ball. And hopefully that's not serious for Latule from Torrance, California. Here's a look at Jerry Glanville and this Hawaii team, and they have to be very pleased. They came in focused. They got him early as Brennan started off on fire in this game, and they have not let up. And Jerry's defense, 5 forced turnovers today, and that's 18 turnovers forced in 6 games. They've also produced 3 touchdowns directly off those turnovers, and allowed just 10 points today. So they kind of a bend but don't break defense, but then they turn you over as well. So they've been very effective lately on the defensive side of the ball, but some concern right now with Lapepe Latule injured for Hawaii. 38 seconds to go in this one. Again, Sheraton Hawaii Bowl officials are waiting to extend an invitation to Hawaii. We're going to have the formal announcement for you. John Gregory down on the field, and Latule being helped off the field for the Warriors. Here's a guy that drew some interest from teams in this area. Oregon State, Utah, Boise State were interested in Latule. He opted to play football at Hawaii, just a freshman. So Utah State will try to regroup for Hawaii, putting the finishing touches on this victory. Up 28-3 at halftime, and they have dominated the second half to say the least. Leon Jackson at the helm, junior from Long Beach. Maybe the final play of this one. Handoff straight ahead to Bohm, and he's up to the 30-yard line on third down. Fourth down upcoming, and that will probably be the final play. Carl Noah on the tackle. That'll do it from Romney Stadium here in Logan. Tough day for Brent Guy and company. It was Hawaii's day. The Warriors with a 63-10 convincing victory here over the Utah State Aggies. Hawaii improves to 7-2 and 5-1 in WAC play. And Utah State is 1-8 and 1-4 now in the WAC. June Jones and Brent Guy meeting on the field. And again, you'll want to stay with the Sheraton Hawaii Bowl officials standing by. We'll take a break. Hawaii cruises to another victory in WAC play as they win at Utah State 63-10. Colt Brennan, the big story. 413 yards through the air and 6 touchdown strikes, completing 18 of 29 as they win it and improve their record to 7-2. And the Warriors have big things on their mind with the postseason right around the corner. We're going to take it down to the field now. John Gregory with some special guests. John?
Yeah, thanks, Trey. I'm here with Jim Donovan, Executive Director of the Sheraton Holiday Bowl. Got a presentation here, a few comments?
Yes, thank you very much, John. Well, first of all, congratulations on another great road victory, Coach. And let's get down to business here. On behalf of the title sponsor, Sheraton Hotels, and the Executive Committee, it's my honor to invite you to play in the 2006 Sheraton Hawaii Bowl on Christmas Eve.
All right. Thanks, Jim. And on behalf of the University of Hawaii and our Warrior program and our coach, June Jones, we kindly accept your invitation to play in your game in 2006.
Thank you, Jim, and thank you, ESPN, for believing in us 4 or 5 years ago when we started this thing. It's been an unbelievable marriage, and we're excited to be back in it with ESPN and Jim Donovan and the Sheraton Hawaii Bowl. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Coach. Thank you, Herman. Go Warriors!
So congratulations to the Hawaii Warriors, a 63-10 win over Utah State, and headed to the Sheraton Hawaii Bowl on the home island. June Jones, 7-2, and looking for a lot more special things down the road. Our coverage of Hawaii versus Utah State will continue from Logan, Utah, after these messages from your local station. Celebrating with the Haka dance here in Logan, Utah. A convincing 63-10 win at Utah State. Let's take it back down to the field and John Gregory.
I'm with Coach Jones. Haka dance behind you. Got to be excited about this in the bowl invitation.
Yeah, well, I'm very happy with the bowl invitation. ESPN's believed in us a few years ago when nobody else did. We didn't have a place to go to a bowl. They stepped up big time for us, and it's been a great thing for our school and the state of Hawaii.
Big win for you today. Let's talk about the offense. Looks like a well-oiled machine out there.
Well, we have a lot of weapons, and it starts with our quarterback. I think you got a little taste of what he's about, and Nate Ilawa is a big-time running back, too. Our offensive line handled all the blitzes and dogs, as you saw, that they showed just about everything to us, and I'm really proud of how they played.
Now, you talk about that offensive line. Few guys on this team you mentioned earlier in the week have some NFL potential. Not only just that, you've got a few guys on this team that have a chance to play on Sundays.
No, we do. We certainly do, and it's been fun. It's been a great group of players. That Haka right there means a lot to me. It kind of makes the hair stand up on my arms. Very proud of the people here that come to see us, and it's kind of a connection for us, and that just makes it really special.
Defensively, you guys have been creating turnovers week in and week out now, and giving your offense a chance to score, but this defense is playing really aggressive.
Well, Jerry's had a tremendous influence, as you can tell, on our team. Our players believe in him. He always gets the players to play over their head, and they've really done a nice job. And I think the thing that makes it a little different this year is when we're getting the turnovers, we're turning them into touchdowns, and that really puts a team away when you do that, and that's what we've been able to do.
Well, you guys are playing really great. Congratulations. Let's send it back up to the top. Trey?
Thank you, John, and thank you, Coach Jones. And don't forget, Christmas Eve, the Sheraton Hawaii Bowl live on ESPN from Aloha Stadium in Honolulu. 5th year of the bowl, and they're promised to be plenty of offensive fireworks in this one. Leave that cold weather behind. The ticket info, call 808-548-BOWL in Hawaii. Outside Hawaii, 800-291-3999. That's it from Logan. Our final score, 63-10. Hawaii, as Colt Brennan and company get it done and improve to 7-2. Brennan, 413 yards and 6 touchdown strikes, and they got big play from Nate Ilawa, their senior running back, the big 254-pounder, with a couple touchdown catches and a touchdown run as well. And the defense flying around on that side of the ball as they forced 5 turnovers, and they win it convincingly. Hawaii improving their record to 7-2, and they're headed to the Sheraton Hawaii Bowl. For John Gregory and our entire ESPN Plus crew, I'm Trey Bender. Thanks for joining us. This has been a presentation of ESPN Plus, the worldwide leader in collegiate sports television. Good night from Logan.